bring a spoon. Pot covered in the air, let the leaders hear. If this is noise, then we join make noise tonight. If this is noise, then make more noise. Noise is power, the people voice. Hey, bring your drum, your whistle, your gun shell clear. Back over spoon, let them all hear. If this is noise, then make more noise. Noise is power, the masses. Bring your drum, your whistle, your gun shell clear. Back over spoon, let them all hear. They call it noise, but we call it might. The sound of the people demanding what's right. From the gap to the gully, from the hill to the shore. Noise is resistance, we want more. Pressure, pressure, pressure them. Noise, 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 make more. Stand up strong, people unite. Noise is power, we can fight. Pressure, pressure, pressure them. Noise, 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 make more. Stand up strong, people unite. Noise is power, we can fight. Asian blocks united, strong together. Marching in sun, marching in bad weather. We love Barbados, so we resist. Noise is the weapon they can't dismiss. If this is noise, then make more noise. Noise is poetry wise. Bring your drum, your whistle, your gun shell clear. Back over spoon, let them all hear. If this is noise, then make more noise. Noise is poetry wise. Bring your drum, your whistle, your gun shell clear. Back over spoon, let them all hear. Drum in your hand, whistle in your teeth. Gun shell blow, feel the pressure beat. Back over glass, spoon strike the sky. Noise is the language, freedom reply. Noise, noise, noise. Beat them pot, beat them pot. Noise, noise, noise. Pills can't stop the people lot. Bad governance, yeah, all we got. Noise mash up silence in every town. From Kensington march to Broad Street Square. Noise tell the leaders the people care.
Fight is power, people is power. We rising strong in the final hour. Bring your drum, your whistle, your gun shell clear. Back over spoon, let them all hear.
If this is noise, then make more noise. Noise is poetry noise. Bring your drum, your whistle, your gun shell clear. Back over spoon, let them all hear. If this is noise, then make more noise.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You are watching the Marcia Week Show, and we are coming to you live and direct from Barbados. And you just heard the national anthem of Barbados, and I was holding in my hands the national flag of Barbados. So, some of you, if this is your first time, this is the national flag of Barbados. And while this program is in Barbados, you're going to hear us deal with topics that are not just about Barbados, but topics that can extend to various Caribbean islands. Here on the Marcia Week Show, we do what we call Emma. We educate, we motivate, we mobilize, and we agitate. That's what we do here on the Marcia Week Show. We have amazing guests and panelists who they research, and they come on and they educate us, and we have stirring discussions. But most importantly, there is action to our discussion. Action, whether it is that someone we're taking care of somebody who had a fire, or it is that we're helping back to school. This weekend I was in the store. We're buying up stuff to help particular families back to school, etc. Whatever it is, we're there supporting water for the people in St. Lucie. When we joined up with Shaquani Hunt from the young Democrats, and we did that as well. So, folks, this is not just talk. If you're just joining us and you're accustomed to a talk show, this is more than a talk show. Oh my goodness, we took a plane, flew down to Dominica because Dominicans came on this show, and they told us about what was happening in Dominica. And guess what? The viewer said, Marcia, you want to go? Well, we're going to send you. Let's send her to Dominica to go and report on what's happening to our Dominicans. Yes? And that's what we do on this show. It is more than talk. It is more than talk. We are more than talk. Monica Ince, good evening. Queen D. Queen D, listen, we are history makers. We are history makers. History is going to remember us. Matthew Brown, what you do, you are a history maker. Yes, you are writing history right now. Okay, because our freedom is voice activated, and we know we cannot just sit down and think the thoughts. We speak it out, and as we speak it out, we act it out. Yes. Our freedom is voice activated. And Bajan Boy, good evening, Patricia. Every time you come on here, we are starting this is a revolution, it's a peaceful revolution. It's a revolution of thought where we believed, somehow we believed that, we could just sit down and things are going to happen. No. That there's a revolution of thought, joy, and faith. And that is why we say, we loyal sons and daughters all do hereby make it known. And there are some things that we are going to make known, loyal sons and daughters all. There are some things that we need to make known. And one of them is that the tint law needs to be completely repealed. It's a nonsensical law, a law that is given to annoy the people of Barbados and to cause us to be aggravated. It's a nonsensical law. And these are the things that loyal sons and daughters, we hereby make it known, the tint law will be repealed. Let me get some clap hand in the comment section. Let me get some thumbs up in the comment section. Do you believe that the tint law will be repealed? We loyal sons and daughters all, we hereby make it known that the tint law will be repealed. We don't want an extension. The fact that you could extend it means that it could be repealed. You have been extending this since you had the idea. We're going to show you that tonight. We're going to go into it. We loyal sons and daughters all do hereby make it known that the cybercrime bill is dead. You agree with me? Put thumbs up in the comment section. We send it out to them because we know that they watch this program. Our voice, our freedom is our voice. Our voice has been activated. Let me tell you something, Barbados. What's going on is that right there in the you know, it's like you're opening a door. There is a little crack there. Do you hear me? There's a crack in this door, and that's why they're telling us all we're doing is making noise. They're trying to say that our group, what we're doing is insignificant. They go into the Senate. The leader of the Senate said that. The Prime Minister seek to diminish what we are doing because they're feeling the power of the noise. They're feeling the power of the voice. Come on, guys. Let me see the hand clap. Let me see the hand clap. That's right, Michelle. That's right, Lucinda. You feeling the power? You feel the power this evening? There is a power. Listen to me, guys. Every victory that you rack up, you should use that to give you the energy and the power to keep pushing down the door. The door, there is a crack. The door is quarter open, and we're going to push it right down. And what's going to happen is the people of Barbados that's going to do it. The voice, our freedom is voice activated. These high taxes, do you want them to remove all of these taxes from fuel? We can do it. We can do it. The cybercrime bill is in the garbage. The wiretap part of it had to be amended, and I guarantee you they must amend the Police Act. Another nonsensical law that they seek to, take money from our pocket. They're extorters and bribers. They're seeking to extort money from us. We don't know our true power. Look at the picture on this. The people don't know their true power. All you've got to do is start walking away, guys. Start walking away from them. Trinidad, come on. St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Your guys are getting ready to do another election there. Huh? You have another dictator come over here with this one here talking about there is going to be some recolonization of the Caribbean. So what have you been doing over there in St. Vincent? Huh? And what is Mia Motley doing here in Barbados? These people are the biggest colonizers, and they look like us. These colonizers. But we don't understand our true power. And that is why we are hitting the streets again, folks. If the people stand up, the party is over for them. We don't want no amendments to no tint. We don't want any extension. We want it gone. And I tell you this, Barbados, you have the power to make it go. You have the power to change all these laws. It is called the X. Some of you don't like when I talk like that. You say, oh, I'm getting political. Well, that, let me tell you, it's more than marching. That is one thing they will understand, is that X. And let me tell you, we need to let them know with that immigration bill, they can bring in as many Jamaicans in here and allow and give them all of this work and do all of that they're trying to do. And in 6 months for them to be able to vote for them. That is what they're doing. That's how they're fighting. And you're going to sit down on the sideline and behave like you're pretty. and you can't come out to the marches, and you can't join the show, and you can't share. It is the people's agitation on social media. It is the people's agitation on this show. It is Ralph Thorne's agitation in the parliament. It is the 2 senators, opposition senators. This is a win for Barbados. And we are saying the door is open a little, and we realize our power. We realize the power that we have, people. We understand our true power. All we've got to do is start walking away from this and say, no, absolutely no. And they're gone, tipped over. Look at the picture. Look at the picture. Come on, folks. Come on, folks. Listen, anybody, just listen to me, folks. If you want to put a bird in there, put a bird. They're going to tell, oh, nobody's capable. Are they capable? Oh, all the other parties not ready. Are they capable? Use your X. Take it from someone who said, I wasn't voting. Take it from someone who said, I wasn't voting. Ask my husband. I was so disgusted. But I learned through this show. I've learned through this show the power of my X. That's the only thing these understand. And when you begin to talk about it, they turn the narrative around on me and on anybody who speaks about it and say we are political. Wow. So it's not political for you when you come begging me and knocking down my door. It's not political when you come and beg me and knock down my door for a vote. As the sign says on here, you can't fix stupid, but you can vote it out. This is a stupid law. The Tint law, stupid. It's a boof, a idiot law. Vote it out. Let any of these political parties, any one of them, even the ones you see come on this show, every single one of them, we make our demands and you won't do that. Let me tell you something. I don't care what color is inside of there. Whether you B, D, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W. You doing nonsense, we gonna call you out. You better be ready to repeal them laws. You think we're going to stand up in hot sun to vote for you, or some of you parties that want to get in? You think we're going to stand up in no hot sun and you go in there and keep the laws? You mad? Ain't happening. We're going to play some videos. I see Dr. Ferdinand is getting ready, but let me just say this, folks. Let me just say this while you continue to like and share. This is a serious hour that we are in. Barbados, this is a serious hour we are in. We're coming into our own. We're recognizing our voice. We are realizing our power. Caribbean, listen to me. This is a new day. In the same way that they say that the Kikim Jenny is stirring up, the people throughout this Caribbean, the people throughout Barbados, there is a stirring that is happening. And something is about to hit these leaders. I want to remind you. Why am I here tonight? I want to remind you of something simple, but quite revolutionary. Your voice is your power. When we look back at history, let's look at our history. We see this truth again and again. Just think about it. You know, they have us in fetes and parties, so we don't have any time to stop and think. But I am calling on all of us. I'm imploring all of us to stop and think tonight. Bussa. Think about Bussa. Bussa made noise when he rose against slavery. When he rose up against slavery, right here in Barbados. Look at Clement Payne. Made noise when he told the working class, organize or be crushed. Can you imagine if Clement Payne and some of those who were in 1930s in the 1937 riots, if they could hear how they're treating the nurses, how they're treating the prison officers, how they're treating the police officers? Clement Payne said, organize yourself or be crushed. Who gonna crush us? We're going to allow them to crush the nurses. We're going to allow them to crush the police service. We're going to allow them to crush the prison officers in here and the teachers. Let's look wider afield at Walter Rodney. Well, these are some of my favorite people. Walter Rodney shook the Caribbean with his voice. Guess what? He taught us that knowledge is power and silence is death. My people. Silence is our death, my people. Maurice Bishop from Grenada inspired Grenada with his voice and the Caribbean and inspired people like myself. I do not believe the propaganda that America has put out on Maurice Bishop. Maurice Bishop inspired us, Grenada and the rest of the Caribbean and Africa, with his voice, strong, fearless, and unapologetic. They killed him for it. None of them were silent, my people. None of them bowed. They made big noise. They love everything in here they call big. Big this, big that, big talk, big. Well, we are making big noise. And because of their noise, we are free to speak today. They made big noise. And because of their noise, we are free to speak today. It is now our turn, Barbados, Caribbean. It is now our turn. We must lose our fear. When we lose our fear, we've been saying it, I've written an entire book about that. When we lose our fear, do you see they're losing their power? Didn't they come with a tint law that they had to go back with? Didn't they come with a cybercrime bill that they had to put in the garbage? Didn't they come with a wiretap bill to tap without warrant that they had to go and amend? And we still want that entire law to go. And that is exactly why they're scrambling. They're amending the tint law, amending the wiretap bill, trying to slip through immigration bill to let people be able to come in here for 6 months and then they're able to be a citizen and then vote. That's the bill that Mia Motley was telling you about, that she's trying, that they have to rush it through because they're looking to expand the voter registration. Stalling the digital ID. Realize that we were able to, the people of Barbados, not just this show. When I say we, I'm talking about us as a collective. Stalling the digital ID, pushing laws without consultation, unjust laws. But let me tell you this. They are afraid of you. Barbados. They are afraid of you. You believe me? Give me a thumbs up in the comment section if you believe me when I'm telling you. They are afraid of you. This Mia Motley and her entire cabinet, the government, they are afraid of you. You have a little thing there that you think it's useless. It's called the X. They're afraid of the people. They're afraid of our unity. That is why they sent their sycophants on social media to cry down the marches, to tell you that all we're doing is telling lies on the show. They discredit us because they're afraid of you. They're afraid of our voice. because we are far more powerful than we realize, more powerful than they ever could control. So I want those who are watching to go back and tell that colonizer, Mia Motley, to step back. Tell that colonizer, Mia Motley, to step all the way back. Get to the back. Barbados will not be ruled by fear. How dare you? We are coming in power. We are coming in the power of our ancestors. The Errol Barrows, Clement Payne, Walter Rodney, Marcus Garvey, in the spirit of Buster, in the fire of Clement Payne, in the wisdom of Walter Rodney, in the courage of Maurice Bishop. We are 280,000 strong. United Barbadians. And our noise is not just sound. Our noise is not just sound. Our noise is power. Our noise is freedom. Our noise is a beating heart of a people who will never surrender. Our noise is a beating heart like the drums. The beating of the drums is like the beating of the heart of a people that's saying we will never, never, never surrender. So Barbados, make some noise. Make some noise. Keep noise. Your voice is your power. Your voice is your power. Make the noise. Folks, we mean business. This is serious. This is serious. This is business. We mean business. Dave, if you could play the second ad for me, please, before we go into, before Dr. Ferdinand comes. There's another ad that we have there with the drums. I feel, okay. All right. This is, do you have a video up that supported? Let's play that video then, Dave. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Or we can do either way. Either play the video. I'm just seeing your message. Folks, are we sharing? Are we sharing? I feel a power in my belly tonight. I feel a fire inside of my belly tonight. Go ahead, Dave.
You there, second desk, blue jacket. What is your name?
My name is Alexis.
Alexis, please leave my lecture room. I don't want to see you at one of my lectures ever again.
I don't understand.
I am not going to ask a second time. Thank you. Why are there laws? What are laws for? Anyone?
Social order?
To protect the person's personal rights.
So that you can rely on the government?
Justice?
Thank you. Tell me, was I unfair to your classmate just now? Indeed, I was. So, why didn't any of you protest? Why didn't any of you try and stop me? Why didn't you want to prevent this injustice? You see, what you have just learnt, you wouldn't have understood in 1,000 hours of lectures unless you lived it. You didn't say anything because you weren't affected yourself. And this attitude speaks against you and against life. You think it doesn't concern you, so it's none of your business. Well, I'm here to say, if you don't help bring about justice, then one day you too may experience injustice, and there will be nobody there to stand before you. Truth and justice lives through us all, and we must fight for it. Because in life and work, I mean, we often live next to each other, but not with each other. We console ourselves that the problems of others are nothing to do with us, none of our business. And we go home glad at night that we're spared, but it's about standing up for each other. Every day an injustice happens in business, sport, or on the tram. Relying on someone else to take care of it is not good enough. It is our duty to be there for others, to speak up for others when they cannot. I am here to teach you the power of your voice. I want you to learn critical thinking to empower you to stand up for what is right, even if it means going against what everyone else is doing. Let's begin.
Wow. Isn't that us right here in Barbados? Isn't that what we do? And that's why a lot of us, we don't come out. We don't come out, we don't support, we say nothing because it doesn't affect us. Wow, powerful video, Dave. Can you play the next ad, and then Dr. Ferdinand will join us. Play the other ad. In the meantime, folks, I'm going to ask you to like and to share. Like and share. Like, share, subscribe. We need some subscription as well. And I don't ask for it enough on the show. So I'm going to ask you, and I welcome everybody, the ones I didn't get to call your names. I was just on a power of fire tonight in my belly. So all right. So here is your new ad. And we ask you, anytime you see these ads, before Dave plays it, let me just say, anytime that you see these ads, we ask you to share them. If you are able to, you have a big following on Facebook and you can pay for the ad and boost it. Put a 20 US on this ad. Anybody, you can put 20 US on one of our ads and boost it and let it run for the week. We're asking you to do that, okay? Someone already told me they're doing that. So I know that it's possible. So if you are able to do that, we would really, really appreciate it. Okay, go right ahead, Dave. Yes, folks. Yes, folks. That is our protest march, Make More Noise, this Saturday. That's coming up September 6th at 10 a.m. Let me just bring Dr. Ferdinand in at this moment. Good evening, Dr. Ferdinand. It's great to have you joining us on Sunday evening. And Dave, if you could put back the flyer, would appreciate that. Welcome. Can't hear you. am I sticking or is it Dr. Ferdinand?
No, it would be me sticking a bit. It would be me sticking a bit. Good evening. Good evening to all the loyal opposition. Good evening to you, Marcia, and all of the members of loyal opposition, Dave, all of our viewers from overseas, and all of the people who watch this show. The official opposition who has other oppositions joining us. Let me put it that way. We are delighted to be with you tonight again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a pleasure. And people are saying they love the video. This video, Galvez, good night, Galvez. Welcome. She's saying this is a powerful video. Teroni says they like the video. Yes, and folks, so whenever you see these out there, you like and you share. Now, one of the things that we are planning to do, you've been always on the truck, and of late I'm on the truck because we don't have as many persons to speak. I normally say nothing in the early stages of the marches, but now I'm needed, my voice is needed on top of that truck. And we see the people, and we are all out there working hard together, getting the messages out that we have this time around. You see how many messages we are bringing. There are at least 5 of them and more, that we are going out, and this is, Dr. Ferdinand, what this is, it's really just gathering what the concerns are of the people of Barbados.
I've been listening to you as you started in a very fiery mode this evening, and you have every right to be in that mode, because that video that we just watched a few moments ago is pungent. It is phenomenal, and it reveals what can happen when we do not speak. While you were playing that video, I did a little bit of research into two persons that have impacted the world. One of them is Sir Winston Churchill, and I looked at his speech, and I actually copied an extract of it, Marcia, in the terms of fight. We will fight, and against enormous odds in the Second World War. I believe it is on the 4th of June in 1940. Sir Winston Churchill shared a message, I think it was in the House of Parliament. And this quote stands with the world today. And he said, and I quote, "We will fight them on the beaches. We will fight them on the landing grounds. We will fight them in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. And even if, which I do not for a moment believe, this island or a large part of it were subjugated and starving, then our empire beyond the seas," and it goes on. But what caught my attention was his fixation on the fact that we will fight. Wherever the battle is, we are going to fight. We will never surrender. If there are those, Marcia, who believe that using the processes of intimidation, they are going to silence the voices of the loyal opposition, and if they think that they're fighting you, they're sadly mistaken. We just happen to represent the voices of a large percentage of people in this country who are opposed to the government's activities as we see it in this day and age in which we live. I was watching the closing ceremony tonight, briefly, a portion of it, and I couldn't help but think, here we go again. Now, I understand the whole aspect of Carifesti. Yes, I get it. I get it with the countries of the Caribbean coming together, sharing together their resources, their cultures and so forth. Yeah, we get it. But here we go again with this party mentality, this fixation on fetes and parties, and trying to distract the people from the very serious nature of things that are taking place in this country. You mentioned a number of them as I was listening to you a few moments ago. And, Marcia, I must tell you that in my younger days, I was very anti-Walter Rodney and anti-Morris Bishop, because I believed a lot of the United States rhetoric. We had always felt, and in the Caribbean,
particularly in Barbados, I can't speak for the other countries, we had this mindset that America was right and the rest of the world was wrong. And I had that mindset, Marcia, until one of my sons sent me a video about the economic hitman of the United States, CIA guy, who was responsible for bringing down countries, bringing down
Yes.
administrations. And, you know, it changed my whole outlook. And then I began to understand why Walter Rodney spoke the way he did and what he really meant. And very recently, I watched a speech by Morris Bishop, and I couldn't help but think, you know, this guy was on target. And he was ahead of his time speaking about the liberties and freedom of the Caribbean people and their capacity to make up their own minds and decide their own destinies. And I couldn't help but, you know, reflect back on that experience I had, uh, believing everything that was American. Of course, that mentality has changed dramatically, and I now do a lot of my own research to find out things. But there was another speech that was made, Marcia, and it was made by a reverend who was a anti-Semitic Nazi until he was imprisoned in a Nazi concentration camp for speaking out against the Nazi control of churches. And his name was Pastor Martin Niemöller, I think is the correct pronunciation. I may have it wrong. Wrong, sorry. But I'm sure you will recognize this quotation when I share it. First, they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. And then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. And that is why today we need to speak out. We need to show our expressions, our objections, our concerns. This government needs to hear it from us, the people. They need to understand, and I heard you refer to this earlier, Marcia, the only thing a government understands is the vote, is the X. And I can't help but continue to believe that somewhere in the not too distant future, Barbados is going to experience a Titanic experience where this government will be brought down because they have underestimated the real size of the iceberg that they are engaging. They seem to think that it's only a handful of noisemakers and fail to realize, I don't know what part of the country they travel, but Marcia, wherever I go in this country, and I sincerely, honestly mean this, wherever I go, whenever I comment about the condition of our country, there is never a single positive word concerning the current administration. And that should we are not going to, and I'm believing God for this, Marcia, we are not going to have apathy when it comes to election. People may be quiet now, but I have understood that one of the most dangerous people to deal with is persons who do not speak, because you never know what they're thinking. You never know how they're going to behave. You just don't know what's going to come out where they are concerned. And that is the position that many of us in Barbados have. People are fearful to speak. But when the time comes, Marcia, for them to speak in the ballot box, I believe that their voice is going to be loud and clear. In the meantime, those of us who have the intestinal fortitude and the capacity to do so need to join in with the marches and make our visibility and our voices heard. The Prime Minister did this together with the trade unions, together with the private sector and merchants in Barbados, when the former administration introduced the NRSL tax in Barbados. And she marched and she said that there must never be a time in this country when our voices must not be heard. Those were her words. And she made a solemn promise to defend what we are doing right now. She made a solemn promise to do that. But Marcia, I'm going to say this before I take a quick break and let you get back into the groove of things. She is going to be supported in the next general election by millions of dollars coming in from outside of this country, because there are those in the global environment who find it absolutely critical for her to retain power in Barbados, because we are being used as a staging ground for a number of things that are being tested, are needed to be tested around the world. And Barbados, because of her profile internationally and because of her succession, not succession isn't the word, her submission to those global elitist leaders, they have got her in a position now where she has to submit to what they want tested in Barbados. And they're going to pour millions of dollars from outside of this country into Barbados in the next general election. You're going to see money spent in this country like you have never seen it spent before, because it's going to be in the interest of the global elites to ensure Mia Mottley remains in office. But the one thing they must never be able to buy is the most powerful tool a Barbadian citizen has, and that is his ability to vote. And we must not sell that to any colonial-driven individual or any colonial globalist mind. That belongs to us. It is our sovereignty.
Very well said, Dr. Ferdinand. And we want to use this opportunity to welcome those who are joining us. I've seen new people have started to join, and our numbers are climbing. But I'm going to ask you to continue to share, to like, and to wake up those that are sleeping. All right. So we need you to send this out, to share, to send it out. And Dave, I told you to play it without music, but play it without the music, and then I'm going to say something about Saturday. Saturday, Dr. Ferdinand is going to. We're hoping that it's going to be very different. We bought some whistles. All right, so we bought some whistles. We are encouraging people to bring on Saturday. Bring a noisemaker. Bring a noisemaker. You have one there, Dr. Ferdinand. You have your noisemaker. Well, listen, bring a noisemaker, and I'm going to make sure this is in my bag, okay? I'm going to have this. This is one of my spoon. This is my noisemaker. That's what I'm going to bring. You know what? Someone said to me, Marcia, I went to the $3 store and I bought a little horn. They showed me they bought a horn, and so you could go to the $3 store and you can get a whistle, a horn, something. The more whistles we get, the better. All right. Then guess what? We are waiting word, people, on some drummers and those with the trumpets. All right. And I got some message, this evening, that they have gotten a couple of the people to say yes. And we're hoping that they can join us on there. The drummers are going to be out there. The horns, they're going to be making noise with us. So the drums are going to be. That march on Saturday is going to be something that is so different, because it's going to come from our soul. It's our voices. We're going to play recorded music, but we want a lot of chanting. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear you roaring on the streets of Bridgetown. We want to do something that we've never done before. All right. So we need that guttural sound from Barbadians. Yeah. So we need everybody to come out. So it's going to be quite exciting. As you know, we provide water for everybody. So we'll have water. We'll have a van there, driven by one of the loyal opposition members. It's a 7-seater van, and that van is to those who if you get a little tired, we will have a van there for you. All right. Yes. And we want to we want you to do something for us. We need you to share. Anytime you see the videos and the posters and anything that we put out, you share it. We don't have the funding to put it on the radio because that costs a lot of money. to do radio ads, but we have social media. So we need you to do it for us. Everybody, we're doing it for ourselves, actually. All right. So one of the things that I said earlier, and I mean it, if you have a lot of followers on your Instagram page or on your Facebook page, and you can boost an ad, just go ahead and boost it. Go ahead and let it run for a week. Let it run for 3 days. Let it run for 4 days. It's reaching more people. A lot of times people say, well, we didn't know about the marches. Now, I know the first poster that we had, it didn't say exactly what we were marching about, right? But we've created about 4 or 5 posters. And within those posters, we have single posters that highlight what exactly we are marching about. It's 10 o'clock. We're going to congregate right there at Kensington at 10 o'clock. I want you to come being willing and ready to get out of the box, to do something different, peacefully, as we always do. We always conduct ourselves in a peaceful manner. All right, good. So, Dave, can you play that ad again for us before we move on into tint? Yes. And Tanisha says we need placards. People want to know what we are marching for. Yes, and we have our placard person back on stream, CG, and I know she bought the material on Saturday, and she's starting to put some placards together. And we're hoping that we'll have placards. We'll also have some flags. So we'll have a variety of things out there. We will have flags. We will have placards. We'll have whistles. We have horns. We have drums. We have tambourines. What about cymbals? How many of you have cymbals? Can bring tambourines? Yes. We're gonna make noise. There's gonna be a time, I envision, Dr. Ferdinand, where we just shut off the recorded music and just make noise. Whatever we have, the whistles, the tambourines, the drums, our voices, we are shouting. We are let us just create a shift in the atmosphere. Your thoughts, Dr. Ferdy?
Well, absolutely, Marcia. I think there's a need for us to be able to make that shift you speak about, and that comes from our voices and from our music. One of the most powerful mediums of communication is music. There are many times in my life I remember where I was, who I was with, what I was doing, what was going on, because of a song, that a noise that I hear. I think back to some of the great old songs that we used to have, and the things that we were doing back in those days. And it's important for us. Music is a very powerful medium, and most importantly, our voices. The scripture tells us that death and life are in the power of the tongue, and we will eat the fruit of it. It also says that a man's belly is satisfied with the fruit of his lips. But there's another one, Jesus himself speaking. He says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so really, what is in your heart, what is in your mind, comes out of your mouth. And we see this where the government is concerned, no question about it. And I know you're going to be going into the matter of the tint legislation in a moment, which I am going to hopefully make a couple of comments on as well. But I want to say, Marcia, it's very important for our voices to be heard. Very important. There is a component of humanity that is spiritually rooted. And as a result of that, when we speak, you will notice that most of everything that happens in our lives, whether it be business, relationships, no matter what it is, first it begins with a thought, and then it is empowered by the voice of our mouth. People set up businesses, Marcia, by saying they're going to do it. People get married by saying they're going to do it. People travel to different countries by saying they're going to do it. People engage different professions by saying they're going to do it. Going to university by saying. The power of speech is enormous. Why, Marcia? Because we are made in the image of God. And from the very beginning, Marcia, God said, and it was. That's why we need to raise our voices. We need to recognize the power of the voice of the people in our country.
Yes. Folks, some people are, I want to take the next couple of minutes and just read some of the comments that
Yes.
people are making. And someone is asking if the link to the ad can be placed in the comment section or pinned to the video so persons can add it to their status and share with others. So, Dave, one of these ads, it's on, it's a YouTube link, I believe, Dave. If you can put that in the comment section so that people can copy the link and share it. Also, you can go to my Facebook page. Those of you who are on Facebook, it's the Marcia Week Show Facebook page, the Marcia Week Show Facebook page, and you're going to see, whatever you see on there, just take it and share it. Okay. This new ad is not on there yet because we were thinking, Dr. Ferdinand, whether we are to put thinking might put a voiceover on it, but if people think it's effective the way it is, then we will push it out with just the drums and the pictures. Do we need a voiceover? If we don't need a voiceover, anybody out there, do we need a voiceover on the ad we just shared? We're very transparent on here. We do things and you can give your feedback. Yeah. So let me know if you think you think it's effective the way that it is. Dave, just play it again for us, Dave. Yes, we're getting some free ads right here. Let's play it again.
That's good with just the music.
Yeah, you think with the music it's good? Let me hear. Let me see if I hear from anybody else. Okay, somebody says, so some people said no voiceover. Somebody says a voiceover will further enhance its effectiveness. Anybody else? So only two persons respond. John Clark. What are you saying? You need a voiceover for the people, or you're just saying a voice for the people?
Somebody speaking about the visually impaired would definitely need help with them. So probably a voiceover might help with them.
Yeah, we're going to try. It's not easy to get that done. To be honest, as simple as you see that is, you need to get the correct voice and it done properly. So we are going to try. Okay, and at the same time, yeah, we are going to try. We're going to do our best and try to get it done. And that's one of the reasons we held it back from going on the YouTube channel at this time. But we need you to think. A few people said no voiceover, but majority
Majority is saying voiceover, yes.
voiceover. So we if you see it and it doesn't have the voiceovers, that we weren't able to get it done and to get done properly, right? Because that's yeah. So okay. All right, so we will see what we can do in order to get it done. All right, folks. Good. Now, Dr. Ferdinand, I don't know if Dave has it available. I think I saw you with it earlier, Dave. The amending of the tint law. The amending of the tint law, the announcement that came, and I hope it's one that we are able to read some of the comments of the people of Barbados to this tint law. Dave, can we put that up? So it says government eases tinting rules with new regulations. Can you read for us, Dr. Ferdinand? Are you able to?
It's a bit small for me.
It's a bit small? Okay.
A bit small, yes.
Okay.
If it can make it. Okay, that's possible. Motorists across Barbados have been granted a 3-month grace period before new vehicle tint laws are enforced. The government also announced a significant change to the regulations, releasing the requirements for rear windscreens. A statement from the Ministry of Transport and Works indicates the decision for the moratorium made at this week's cabinet meeting follows a stakeholder meeting that included the Barbados Police Service, the Barbados Licensing Authority, and tint suppliers. Officials have agreed to a 3-month grace period, pushing the enforcement deadline to December the 1st. Also, rear windscreen tinting is now more lenient. Officials are now saying the required visible light transmission for the rear windscreen has been lowered from 70% to 20%. A 3% margin of error will be allowed during official tint tests, while public service vehicles or PSVs, such as route taxis and minibuses, are no longer exempt and must follow the same rules as other vehicles. Interesting. Drivers who want to be exempted for medical reasons are required to provide a letter from a specialist doctor. The statement added that the new regulations were a response to concerns from police about officer safety during the traffic stops. The ministry said it will continue to offer free tinting tests with locations to be announced.
Now, I want us to be I want to take us down memory lane, and I don't know if Dave has that the first time Mr. Thorne spoke about this in the Parliament, and I'm going to call Mr. Thorne's name because if I didn't do that, Dr. Ferdinand, I would not be truthful.
Correct.
The very first time that the Prime Minister, and I think Dave has some videos that can give us the story. So I think let's start at the beginning. The first time we heard of tint. Dave, you have that clip? The first time we heard of tint. If you have that, you can play that. If you have the one with Mr. Thorne, you can play it. But after we heard about tint, Mr. Thorne went to Parliament and he began to school the Attorney General to let them know that the current law, who remember that? The current law on the books, that if they did it, that they're going to have no ends of problems with it in the courts, because legally they could not do it. They would be passing one piece of law that contradicts another piece of law. Anybody out there remember? And you remember when he came on this Marcia week show, Mr. Thorne came and explained it to the people, broke it down to the people. And I tell you, they had to push it back to go and they change the other part of the law that was creating the problem. They went and changed that. And Mr. Thorne even joked and said, look at me, I'm giving them ideas, right? And they went and changed it. They took some time. And Dr. Ferdinand, you can check to see how long that was before now. And then they came back with it and got it passed. Go ahead, Dave, play this, please.
We have laws that govern tints on vehicles. They don't govern and don't allow dark tints. It must stop. And the government has set a target date that no later than the 14th of October, persons who are not having tints that are compliant, in other words, the light tint, will be fined. I'm not interested in prosecuting nobody. Tell the AG so already, I want money. I want money.
Right. Now, Dave, what date was that? Can somebody, Dr. Ferdinand or Dave, just tell us what date?
I haven't got a record of that date myself.
Okay, I'm sure Dave is going to find it.
Yes.
Right? So I want us to track it. Let's track this whole thing. So this was the announcement. You see how frivolous the announcement. Look at her face. Look at the smirk on her face. It wasn't serious for her. This was, as she said, it was about money. Right? This was about money for her. We don't forget, and that's a good thing about this social media. One time we would have to depend on traditional media to regurgitate these things or to put them up again. But no, we are able through social media. We got them in our phones, man. That's why they're so afraid.
I was just about to say that, Marcia. Actually, that's why they want to take control of the technology and the internet, for the very reasons you're saying.
Yes. So this was at a press conference on crime. You're correct. This was at a press conference on crime. And if anybody can help us just to find the date of this press conference, that would be great. All right. So we're going to move along. All right. So this is what happened. And then there was public outcry. Look at what happened. She made the announcement. There was public outcry on social media about this. All right. And Mr. Thorne decided to educate those in Parliament and educate all of us in the country about the tint law and why it was a bluff. They couldn't do it unless they went and changed another law on the books. And he came on here, and Mr. Thorne basically, with his education, became almost like a go-between between us and the tint law. And we must remember these things because there's a pattern to what's going on here. I'm showing you a pattern. Mr. Thorne gave us they made the ruling, or they made the announcement at the press conference. The people said, what you're talking about. Mr. Thorne then went in and started to fight them in Parliament, okay? And came on the show and taught the nation on exactly why they can't do it. Play the video, Dave. Thank you.
Little pigs, let me in.
I want money. I want money. You understand?
Not by the hair on our chinny chins. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in.
The Prime Minister has threatened Barbadians. Everybody has come away discussing tint. And they're discussing tint not because it is trivial, but because the Prime Minister has threatened Barbadians. I want to assure Barbadians that the Prime Minister has absolutely no authority to collect fines.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in.
All that is left for me to do is to give the public the assurance that the Prime Minister, again, as she has done in the past, exceeded her legal and constitutional boundaries.
Yes, I remember we did this video. I remember when this video was done. Anybody remember that video? It's good. This is a record that we keep. The public is keeping the record, you know. The public has them on record, right? This is what's happening. And so I'm taking the time for us to understand something here. A lot of you, you know, Mr. Thorne this, Mr. Thorne that, I'm not DLP. Nobody asking you to be DLP. Nobody asking you to be DLP. We are doing this as a collective. You think we could come on here all we want and we could educate and we could speak and you could use your social media and you can do all of that. But we also need somebody who knows the law. And very few lawyers are speaking out. And you must give that as something that he went ahead and stood between us and them. And they had to keep it. They couldn't pass it at that time. They had to take it back to the drawing board. In fact, they came out and said that they're going to do it in a couple months because they could not. Yes?
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, Dave is saying that the video was September 27, 2024.
September 27.
September 26, sorry, 26. September
26, 2024. Thank you, Dave. September 26, 2024. And it took them an entire year because of the opposition that they were getting, both outside of Parliament and inside of Parliament. And I tell you something, Barbadians, that is the strategy. That is the strategy. We're fooling ourselves if we don't understand the importance of having those opposition senators in there and having a leader of the opposition. Of course, we would love to have more. All right. But understand that. I think we need that point needs to go forward. Now, here we are. And it's 11 months later. They're supposed to put the law in effect for September 1st, and they are saying, oh, well, we met with the cabinet and we're going to amend it. So we read how they're going to amend it. Somebody else is saying here, let me just read the comments here. Tanisha said, but Mr. Thorne is the only person that is educating the public on these draconian laws. Who else is speaking loud enough? Well, Tanisha, we want to thank God for who we have. We have you. Right? You know, we have Dr. Ferdinand. We have everybody on this chat. We have attorney Greenwich, Corey Greenwich, that came forward. You know, on the child care bill, we had another lawyer, Davida Maynard. You know, so there are people who come. It's almost like we get these people when we need them. There are people there. You know, we would like to have more. We would like to have more, right? And so as we follow this journey, Tanisha, on this tint, it is my belief that if you are saying that the tint was supposed to fight crime, first you told us you want money. Then when the public started, you know, to push at you, you said it was to fight crime. Is the crime not important anymore? Why are you pushing it back? What's the impetus? What is causing you to say we will wait till 3 months? What is causing you to go back and say we're going to amend it? And what is the force? What is the force? I want to, Dr. Ferdinand, don't even answer. I want to hear the people. I want to hear the people. In fact, call. I want us to call in about this tint, because my question to us, I have two questions. I have two questions for the class tonight. What is causing them to back down? What is causing them to amend? And my second question is, do we think that they need to repeal this entire law needs to go? Do you think that, in your estimation, this entire law needs to go, or you think the extension is good, the amendment to it, no, it's good, a good law? No, I want to get a little, take a little, poll tonight. Let's take a poll tonight on this tint law. Should it be gone completely? Call the number, please. WhatsApp calls are preferable. Please call. WhatsApp is better. All right? It's better for us if you call WhatsApp. So the phone is here. Go ahead and make your call. Make your call. All right? Now, Pedro is saying here, non-compliance made them put it back. Pedro, I agree with you. That was a form of resistance. There were people, I met people yesterday and said, I'm not doing anything to my vehicle. I'm not doing one thing to it. The police comes, I will turn my window down and talk to them. There's some people who are taking that. The taxi men came out and they were speaking. So there was non-compliance. They did not have enough people to buy into it, right? And so they had to pull it back. They had to then give you 3 months. What else? Anybody call it? Jacqueline says, yes, repeal it because it's about money and it's not going to change a thing on the street, as police have not been attacked because of the tint. Judy Jug said the tint should be done away with. Hugh is saying repeal the law. Okay, so I'm only reading the comments that has to do with the questions that I'm asking. What caused them to seek to amend the law and to extend it? Okay, go ahead and play it, Dave.
Oh, this car here, big man. You know what stop you?
What you stop me for, though?
You mean stop for look at the tape on this car, big man.
Big man, you really stop me for tape.
Big man, the AG said that anybody got dark tint, all you got to stop them.
You for real, though?
What you mean for real? License and registration, man.
License and registration. People would play shooting and you can stop me for tape?
Or look, you know where all that shooting? You know what I'm saying? The AG tell me to concentrate on the people that got dark tint. We ain't worried about all the shooting that happen in the community. You know what I'm saying? So license and registration.
I hear.
Okay, it seemed like it stopped. Dave, it stopped. Okay. Okay, while we wait for it to come back. Okay, there's a call coming in. Let me accept this call. Good night, caller.
Yeah, good night, Marcia.
Good night, sir. Could you turn, welcome to the Marcia Week Show. Just turn down all of your devices that you're listening to us on so that we can hear you clearly.
Turn it down. Let me turn it down.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, yes, sir.
About the thing is that they want to pass the law for our citizens, but they still want the police and certain government officials to still got their charge. So that cannot happen.
Can you hear? Are you hearing?
The volume is very low.
Very low? Okay, right, because it's coming through the computer, so it's very strange. Okay, try again, caller.
Yes, what I was saying, they wanted to pass the law.
It's in the computer.
But they can't yes, they wanted to pass the law that people can't come off. But the police chiefs said they want it to stay on, so that law cannot pass.
Yes. Let me just make sure that the people are hearing. Can you hear Dr. Ferdinand?
Very, very low, Marcia. Very, very low.
Wow, that's strange.
Yeah.
That is very odd. I'm not
Law
sure
in
what's
opposition.
going
Are you
on
all
here.
hearing? Are you all hearing the call? I'll just see what they say.
Yeah, that's worse for me. All right. Okay. Caller. We're going to work on this and ask you to call back. Caller, we're having some technical challenges. Yes.
Yeah, they're saying it's low. Andre is saying he can hear.
Okay, they were hearing.
Caller very low. Volume is low for me too. Yeah, very low.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's very odd because it's coming through the computer and the volume is up on the computer and up on the phone. So I'm not sure why. Okay. All right, but I will read the comments in the meantime that we try to hopefully we can get it fixed. Celia B said, if the police is concerned about the tint, just ask the citizens to lower their windows on the approach of the police and stop making criminals of law-abiding citizens. Yes. Sonny says, tint is nothing to do with crime, but all to do with surveillance. Yep. Somebody says they're going to ask a motorcycle helmet and goggles next. Right? Okay. So, how many of you believe that the law should be repealed? Okay, so yes. Okay, so listen to the question, guys, and we are trying to get an understanding. Okay, Pedro, I'm sorry, Jacqueline says repealed. Diana husband said repealed. Sonny said repealed. Okay. Okay. Alwyn said repealed. Queen D say repealed. Okay. All right. So we're getting some responses. We're getting some responses. Yes. Repeal or not repeal? Repeal or not repeal? That we're asking one question, repeal or not repeal? Yeah. Gonna ask a caller. Well, you know what? I can call them back. And let me call them back and see. Let's see if that's yes. Caller, welcome back to the Marcia Week Show. Let's see if we can hear you now. Let's see if this fixed. Caller, welcome.
Yeah.
Yes, good night, sir.
Yeah, good night, ma'am. My name is Mark.
Oh, good night, Mark. Good night. Yes, I think we're hearing you better.
I wanted to see the reason why they want the tint. The reason why they want to go back to the law to get the tint, look at, because they want people cars with tint come off, and the policeman cars tint must stay on. So that cannot be allowed then.
Okay, so you're saying there's that some people have on tint and others don't have. So do you think that the law should be repealed?
Yes, I believe that.
Okay, you believe the law should be repealed. Why do you think why do you think the government made the amendments and extended the time? What do you think is the real reason why they did that?
The real reason why is because Mr. Thorne, no law. And by Mr. Thorne, no law, Mr. Thorne is show up then. So when Mr. Thorne show up then, them know that then they're foul up. So they want to go back now and I make it right. But one thing they cannot do is carry on Mr. Rafton with law. Mr. Rafton know law very well.
Yes, I believe so, and I think that people need to be able to realize, you know, what he brings to the table, and why
Mr.
he's
Rafton
there.
is not really true.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, what role you thought that the people played? What about social media? I don't think it was just Mr. Thorne. Do you think social media? My view is social media would have assisted. Do you think that? What's your view?
Well, when that first happened, people just get hot and sweaty, and people will say, well, I agree, the tear coming off, but it's not the tear that causes crime, because crime gets into all over the world. And before tear was franchised, crime was going on. It's just that this government looking for money.
Yeah. So okay, so you believe that you believe that it should be repealed. Thank you so very much for your caller. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Have a good night.
Yes, thank you very much. The number is there, folks. We're opening up the lines very early so you can come in. This is in my estimation, a win for you. Before we play, I think Dave had something there of Mr. Thorne, but look on this screen. This is an MP's car, and this car is heavily tinted. This car is heavily tinted, folks. You see this one?
I stand to be corrected, Marcia, but I believe that might be one of the Supreme Court justices' vehicles, MP 65.
Well, there you go. Somebody in government. Yeah.
MP 65. All these, the MP vehicles are generally the vehicles for the ministry, more so than the minister, the MP. But in this instance, because I was one of the architects with the judges.
Yes, I remember. You tell us a lot.
Yes,
I remember. Yeah.
You know, so the whole aspect, however, Marcia, of the tint, I was doing some research while you're speaking, and maybe I could make a mention of a couple of things while you're waiting for the call. But the original legislation, which dates back to 1980, I believe, according to the information I have, it did not require any percentage in terms of the tint. So it was very subjective. It really was up to the officer or whoever stopped the vehicle. So the legislation that is current is an attempt to become objective. However, the rationale behind it, I think, is the problem that people have, Marcia, because the government seemed to connect it with two things. One, the protection of officers on approaching a vehicle, and two, the criminal activity in the country, suggesting that the darker tints were keeping criminals concealed from the government, or from the authorities. But Marcia, if you watch, and I've watched scores of videos of police officers stopping people in the United States who have no tint on their glasses, absolutely none. And the first thing they require you to do is to lower your glass. That's the first thing they require you to do, even though they can see through, because they still need to talk to you. And then the second thing I observed, a couple of movies I watched, and people might think, well, you know, that's not relevant, but I think it is. A couple of movies I watched where criminals with no tint on their glasses had the guns laid flat on their laps so that the police officer approaching the vehicle would never have seen the weapon. And then on approach, they would be shot. So to talk about tint reducing the risk of the police officer being injured is totally ludicrous. If somebody means ill intent for an officer, tint or no tint, they are going to engage it, Marcia. That's the reality of it.
Yeah, very much so. Dave, you had a clip there, Mr. Thorne. I think Dave had a clip there, and I see while Dave gets that, I see a caller calling. Let me take this call. Caller, welcome to the Marcia Week Show. Please turn down your devices because we would love to hear you. Go right ahead.
Good night, Marcia. Good night, Dr. Ferdinand Nicholls.
Yes, good night. Can you speak up a little louder for us?
All right. How about this? Good night.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I just called to discuss this. The first thing that I see that is problematic is there was no distinction in the bill about what type of tint that they're talking about, because manufactured vehicles come with a color in the glass that's called intrinsic. It's manufactured, we say it's tint, but it's different from putting a film on your window or on the glass. So those are two different things. I don't know anyone who's going to remove their manufactured windows for this law. I haven't heard anyone. No one is going to do that. I know that they have, the same people that wrote these have families and friends with expensive vehicles. They're not taking their glass out for this bill. So they have a problem.
So you're saying that there are some big shots that they're not taking out their glass.
That's not going to happen. I'm not taking my glass. I am not damaging my vehicle for this bill. This makes no sense. Vehicles now, modern vehicles come with the glass with a shade, but it's not film. It's part of the glass. Who is removing the windows, the windshield? Not even the windshield. Mostly the rear window, and usually the back windows, and the driver window for this bill. This does not make sense. Even the auto manufacturers, even the auto, I don't know if you call them, but the Auto Association in Barbados spoke out on this, that you removing the windows would kind of like cancel your warranty on your vehicle.
That's right.
What?
That's right. That's right. You can make no adjustments to that vehicle during the warranty period. None.
Yeah, continue, caller.
So this bill has a lot of holes, has a lot of problems, and it was just poorly written. It was poorly written. There's no way in 2025 you can ask someone who purchased a vehicle manufactured with the glass color. The glass is a tint, but it is not tinted. It's intrinsic to the glass. It doesn't have film on it. No one is taking those windows out. I'm for sure not damaging my car for this bill.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you brought that up. I pretended like I didn't like I was hearing from the first time. I spoke to some people who have cars like that, and they're saying, Marcia, this is so expensive to do. And he told me a lot of the business people, wealthy people with these big cars, they're not doing it because it doesn't make any sense. And so it
absolutely
makes
not. It absolutely does not make sense, right? But then, is there part of the bill that there's some exceptions to certain persons? Now, if you're going to pass a bill, you pass a bill across the board. No one should have tint, if that's the case. No one should have tint. It shouldn't be where you're in a certain position that you have tint and you don't have tint, because that's how you skirt the law. If you're going to make a law, it has to be across the board for everyone. But the fact that this is so draconian, this is so poorly. Not even, it doesn't even, these are educated people. These are supposed to be educated people. And half of them, or most of them, drive a vehicle that they purchased with the window have a color. They didn't go to the shop and put a film on the window. What are they doing with their vehicles? They're going to get an exemption? Because the only exemption I understand is the medical exemption.
Medical, yes.
You can't be in the sunlight. You can't be in the sunlight. So what are they going to do? Skirt the law and get a medical exemption?
Everybody going to get a doctor to do that for them now. Well, thank you so much, caller. So what do you say? Repeal the law? You believe the law should be repealed?
Absolutely. This is not even anything you should even think about repealing. It just does not make any sense. It does not make sense.
Any sense. But
so picking the ball down the road and putting it off. This does not make any sense. People who have these vehicles are not taking their windows out.
Yes. Stephen Strickland says, though, that there need to be some regulation of the tint as our sons, daughters, fathers, mothers, relatives, and friends are police officers who have to interface with criminals. Also,
absolutely, there should be where the front windshield should not be tinted. You should have a 6-8 inch visor on your window, but the front windshield, that would make sense. The front windshield, you can see into the vehicle. But telling people that it's a blatant, just a flat tint on your window is wrong.
Yeah, because you're saying that you know, they will literally have to take out their glass completely out, and that's something Dr. Ferdinand had been saying on the show for a while. Well, thank you so much, ma'am, for calling. Appreciate it. Are you coming to the march on Saturday?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. Looking forward. God bless. Bye-bye. Dr. Ferdinand, you have a quick word there, and then we're going to share this video.
Interestingly enough, Marcia, in the original legislation, tinted glasses were prohibited. But again, I agree with the caller. Specificity has not been engaged in the context of this legislation. When I worked with BMW from 1997, BMW had what we call green glass. That is the front glass, that is the windscreen, the two front glasses were green. And as a result of the greenness, and which was built into the glass to help reduce the UV rays that heat the inside of the car, they looked dark. If you looked at the car from outside, it looked dark. Then they added privacy glass to the two rear windows and the rear back glass, so that today every car comes with these glasses are I don't even know if to call them tinted. They're actually UV controlling glass, and the privacy glass really helps to provide cooler environments for the person seated in the back of the vehicle. As you know, while the vehicle is air conditioned, the persons at the front receive a greater aspect of the air conditioning. The people in the back, not so much so. But BMW explained that dark glass at the back helped to reduce even further the aspect of the heating of the interior of the vehicle. So I think the government needs to go back to the drawing board with this law and identify if they're speaking about added tint films, or what they mean by tinted glass.
Mm-hmm. Somebody says, okay, somebody's but someone Neonster is saying there is one tinted glass and one tint covered glass, and I think Neonster, that is what seems to be
that's the issue.
That's a big part of the issue that
Yes.
is happening, and they were not going to get a lot of these people to destroy their car, to take out entire glass. I mean, they truly did not. They said that they had a cabinet meeting and then made the amendments. It seemed like they didn't have the cabinet meeting ahead of time, and so this is part of what's been happening. They are not thinking through things, and this is why the opposition, it's important to have an opposition, and you all need to stop getting focusing on party and thinking Mr. Thorne is from the DLP, and understand what Mr. Thorne is doing. The man has a job to do. Go ahead and play the clip. 1 second, Mr.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and play the clip, Dave. Can't hear it.
Have a conversation with the Prime Minister, light-hearted, and it is pleasant. But congeniality is not an excuse for being clever. A lot of people came away from her press conference on Thursday disappointed that they did not hear the government speak as to the crisis of violent crime in Barbados. Everybody has come away discussing tint. And they're discussing tint not because it is trivial, but because the Prime Minister has threatened Barbadians to collect monies from them. Now, at a stage of our life where people are in dire financial straits, it scares them when somebody of the high authority of a Prime Minister says to them, I am going to fine you sometime in October if you don't remove the tint from your car. So that a national discourse on violent crime that's afflicting this country becomes a discussion on the question of tint on cars. And we all know why people have tint on their cars. So that the discussion has moved from violent crime to tint. I want to assure Barbadians that the Prime Minister has absolutely no authority to collect fines. Certainly, the question of tint on cars is referred to in the Road Traffic Act of Barbados. The Road Traffic Act deals with traffic offenses. So the question of tint or dark tint It's a matter that is dealt with in the Road Traffic Act. The Prime Minister has no business dealing with the Road Traffic Act. The Road Traffic Act, before I go there, I want to remind citizens of this thing called the rule of law. The rule of law essentially prevents high officials of the state and high officials in government from exercising arbitrary power. What the Prime Minister did on Thursday is to indicate an arbitrary exercise of power. That is to say, I want money. I am going to collect money from you. If the tint on your car is too dark, she does not have that power. I'm going to say that more than once. I'm going to give Barbadians the assurance that it will not happen. It cannot happen if there's something called constitutional law in this country. The Prime Minister has no authority to collect any fines. That raises the question of the Prime Minister's relationship with three agencies of state: the Director of Public Prosecutions, the police, and the courts. The Director of Public Prosecutions is a creature of the Constitution, created and established by the Constitution of this country. The Director of Public Prosecutions is the only person in Barbados who has the authority to initiate or to terminate proceedings in court. The question of the collection of fines is a matter that is dealt with only by the courts. The Prime Minister has no power to initiate court proceedings or to terminate court proceedings. And in this event, the Prime Minister has no authority to initiate any matter that will result in the fining of persons for dark tint on their cars. It's only the DPP, under the law of Barbados, the constitutional and supreme law of Barbados, that can initiate proceedings in court. I saw part of the video, and she said, she turned to the AG and said, she's not interested in prosecuting anybody, she just wants fines. Again, that is so legally flawed. You cannot collect a fine unless you prosecute. And as I've said, it's only the Director of Public Prosecutions acting through the police in relation to the Road Traffic Act that can prosecute. So legally, I don't know who is advising the Prime Minister, but she's wrong. They want to deal with the relationship with the police as well. It is the police, it is the duty of the police to walk around. If they do seek to enforce this law, they've never enforced it. The Prime Minister cannot instruct the police to enforce this law. She cannot. I've said here before, and I'll say it again. Under Section 8 of the Police Act, the Commissioner of Police, in his superintendence of the police service, is answerable and accountable to the head of state. The Prime Minister is not the head of state. The Prime Minister is the head of government. The head of state is the president. And the Commissioner of Police is answerable to the head of state, the president, not to the Prime Minister. Again, I say, the Prime Minister is trespassing, possibly trespassing on the constitutional authority of the head of state, the constitutional authority of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the constitutional authority, the legal authority of the Commissioner of Police. One question arises: if the Commissioner of Police has the authority to charge people with dark tint, can the Commissioner of Police be influenced by the Prime Minister? No, because of what I've told you earlier. Section 8 gives him absolute power, not absolute power and authority for the superintendents of that police service, except that he's answerable to the president. There is no role for a Prime Minister. There is no role for any member of government, any member of the cabinet, insofar as the police authority to prosecute people is concerned. That is a very dangerous precedent. That is very dangerous language by the Prime Minister when she threatens to influence the process of prosecutions and fines by persons who carry dark tint. The question of fines, I come to that as well. The question of fines, a fine may be imposed and can be imposed only by a court, a magistrate or a judge. In relation to the Road Traffic Act, in this regard, it is something that is done and can be done only in the magistrate's court, presided over by a magistrate. A magistrate is a part of the judiciary, and one of the essential features of a properly functioning judiciary is that it must be independent. And when it says independent, it means independent of the other two arms of the state. executive, which is headed, or the cabinet, which is headed by the Prime Minister, and the Parliament, which is headed by the Speaker of the House. That judiciary must not be made subject to the influence of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is so wrong in this regard. There's something called separation of powers. And separation of powers means just what it says. It means that state power has between these three agencies of the state, the cabinet, Parliament, and the judiciary. Those powers are separate. Those powers must not be consolidated or concentrated in any one person. If it becomes concentrated in any one person, you call that tyranny. The Prime Minister has been guilty of tyrannical statements in the last 24 hours. The Prime Minister has no business interfering in the work of the Director of Public Prosecutions. She has no business interfering in the work of the Commissioner of Police, and she certainly has no business trying to influence the court in terms of fines. That is why we come as a party today to confidently say to you, Barbadians, that the Prime Minister has no legal constitutional authority to impose fines, to collect monies, to come to you at a time when people are really, really anxious about their financial state, and to say to you, I want money. She will not get any money from any Barbadian for having dark tint. She does not have that authority. And we feel as a party that we must give that assurance to Barbadians. We feel that we have to give that assurance. We feel that we must say to you that it is no more than an empty political threat without any legal basis. And we feel as a party that is interested in democracy and interested in preserving democracy in this country that we should give Barbadians that assurance. So please, the discussion as to tint may cease. You can discuss it in a very light-hearted way if you want to. We've seen several memes on it. You can continue to discuss the question of tint in a very light-hearted manner.
Yeah. Wow. Folks, I allow this to play out because sometimes, thank you so much, Dave, for finding this, Dr. Ferdinand. I allow it to play because it is important to us to remember the sequence of events. So on September 26th, remember we showed you where the Prime Minister made the announcement. And on September 27th, Mr. Thorne and the DLP had this press conference in response to that so quickly. All right. And we must not forget these things. And when we say, oh, nobody's saying thing and nobody, no, remember that we just show you the receipt. And guess what? He did that. And I'm sure it was days after he was on this show and breaking it down for us on this show, educating us. And so we want to thank, as we did with the amendment of the wiretap bill. Again, it's the same thing, the very, very same thing that occurred. I don't know how this is happening on the screen at the moment, but the very thing that happened, with the wiretapping bill is what the same thing, the same organs that worked. The people, the opposition leader, the podcasts like ours, the march. Remember, we had a march about it. All of that worked together to bring us to where we are today. And I think majority of people are saying, go back to what you had before. We don't want it. Repeal the law. I think that's a general feel that we have. Dr. Ferdinand, your comment on this, and then we're going to move on to the next topic.
Well, Marcia, I think we need to, I'm one that tends to get quite emotional myself, but I think we need to look back at the previous legislation and then look at what it was amended to come to this current administration. If you look back at the previous administration, Marcia, tinting was not allowed, period, in the previous legislation. And if it was done, it was then at the discretion of the officer who stopped you to determine whether you would be ticketed or fined or whatever. The legislation that we have before us today outlines the specific amounts of tints, but it fails in a couple of areas. Number one, it does not address whether we are discussing added tint or are we talking about the tint that vehicles come with, which your previous phone caller alluded to.
Yeah.
The government has not distinguished those two. And then secondly, in terms of the percentage, there's a need for them to review that aspect, because in a very real way, people's interior vehicles are heated a lot, because I don't know if you've observed, but the majority of vehicles in Barbados today have black interior. Black attracts heat. And as a result of that, people do engage the aspects of the tint simply to try to reduce the amount of heat. That also leads to reducing the labor on the air conditioned system, which in itself leads to a reduction in fuel consumption. And so these are things that, while they may not even give consideration to, should be taken into account. And just let me say one last thing,
Yes, because
Marcia.
I have a caller on the line.
Yeah,
Yes.
let me say one last thing. I don't believe this was done at any cabinet meeting. I fail to see a cabinet meeting being called to extend the date to December the 1st. And I'll just leave that there.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Rev. Let's have our caller. Caller, welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
A blessed good night to both of you. I am amazed at the way how our education is being attacked. You know,
yeah.
it is okay to educate people, but when people are educated towards your ignorance or what you are trying to put us in, it seems as though you then want to attack us because we are being educated. Remember you told us that about is Emma?
Yes.
Marcia?
Yes, Emma.
Right, Emma. Education, motivation, and
mobilization.
What's the
and agitation?
And agitation, yeah.
Right. Well, we are being agitated through education. And we're being motivated. Now, what I am saying, I know we said that that there's no, we don't see the sense or intent. We may not see the sense intent, but somebody sees money.
Somebody see the sense, the CENTS.
Yeah, somebody. Exactly. Now, I had posted something on Facebook about pullback.
Yeah.
But I would prefer at this moment to change the pullback to pull up, because of the same words that our Prime Minister used pertaining to Stuart Kimar about either pull up or shut up. No, remember she had promised us safe zones, but she had to pull up. Digital ID.
Yes.
They had to pull up on that also. Integrity bill. Had to pull up on it. They were even trying to silence us with the cybercrime bill.
Yeah.
They also had to pull up on that also. There is a big pull up right now on the integrity bill. Now they're trying to tint us now with a tint bill or tint cutlass. And now they have to pull up. But as I said in the post, I believe when it comes to RX, we should pull up. We should pull up on RX to this administration that is trying its utmost best, I believe, to cause us stress. You know, I'll tell you this much, Marcia.
Yes.
I'm not a politician or into politics. But if you're going to put an X to some person's name to represent you, you are involved in politics. There was a time where the DLP had an opportunity to govern this country.
Yes.
And the reason I believe why they are in the position they're in right now is because the people they lost favor with the people. So because they lost favor with the people, the BLP took advantage of this situation, and now they are the ones who are at the point of losing favor with the people.
Yes.
When you have opportunity to lead, you should lead it in humility. You know, so I find that when you are trying to make people enslave people, because to me that's all it's doing. You are trying to enslave the people that elected you, that selected you to govern them. And where the people that we elected, are they in our neighborhoods looking after our interests, or are they silent, waiting for the next election to come around?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen not one of them. So I'm saying we need to pull up on our exes.
Yes. Wow.
Now this is school time.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that one of the reasons why they pull up on the tent is because this is the time where parents, some of them have the cars tinted. Sometimes because of the children, they don't want to cause children any stress in the cars. But right now, some of the parents have to a choice now between tint and textbooks, and $100 isn't going to do it. The $300 isn't going to do it either. So I believe a lot of times, because of the rush to do these bills, you know, they're not thinking about people at all. They're just thinking about their own selves.
They don't care.
Yeah, caller, very, very, very well said. Now, I wanna ask you a quick question before you go, caller. You know, you talked about telling the people to pull up on their ex. Then, what about people who say to you? Because I know this voice. I know you're a Christian. What about people who say, but that's being political? What do you say to them, caller?
You're talking about as far as you're not talking about not voting.
Yeah. People who say that if you say to us that what you basically have is your ex, use your ex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pull up on your ex, right? So here, the ex, the voting I'm talking about, right? So people would say to you as a Christian, why are you speaking like this? You're being political. Because when I come on the show and I say, listen, hold a minute, you don't want to pull back this cybercrime bill. Well, I tell the people, well, don't vote for them. And they say, oh, the show has become political. That's what they say. What do you say to them? I'm asking you, are you being political? Then when you say to the people, don't vote for them, don't give them the X, pull up on the X.
If I am to pray for you, I believe I'm also being political. I'm making a choice. It is, we have a constitutional right to vote. And if you do not exercise your constitutional vote for change, you have actually voted.
Mm-hmm.
So it is better for you to put your ex to vote for some person who you believe would govern you with integrity than to not vote at all. When I voted in the last election, the person that I voted for did not get in, but I did not waste my vote.
Yes.
So not voting is voting.
Yes.
Not voting
That's
is
right.
voting.
That's
Not
right.
voting is voting.
Is voting.
Is voting. Caller, thank you so much. Very, very well said. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
You're welcome.
Very good. Very good contribution there. Folks, remember, call in. We open the lines very early tonight because we want to hear from you. Call in, and you've been making, Dr. Ferdinand, they've been making some great contributions.
Yes.
I really think, guys, can you take a moment and like the show, share, subscribe, because I could tell as well, Jonathan B, what's going on. But we keep pushing, we keep resisting them. All right. So I'm going to ask you to like. Did you like yet? You just joined the show. Did you share it in your WhatsApp groups? Yes. please do that. Please do that. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. No problem. All right. We're gonna move on if we don't have any other calls on this, and we're getting ready to talk about some other areas. Okay. Now we have a situation, Dr. Ferdinand. We're going to move on. And if Dave can find the poster that has to do with the police, I would have sent you all the posters in the WhatsApp, I believe. And so I put the one up for me with the police, where the police, people in the police service, the police in the police service, they are asking for their hazard pay. The prison officers want their hazard pay. The nurses want their hazard pay. Those who assist the nurses, one person called, Judy called and said, Marcia, I didn't get my hazard pay. This is 5 years. 5 years this government has promised these people in protective service and just in the healthcare service. Because of COVID, they said to them, Dr. Ferdinand, work overtime, do extra for us, and we're going to take care of you. And just like a scam that happens where somebody said, okay, Marcia, you're going to do this and I'm going to do this, that the 3-card man. You know, these people were scammed of their time, their resources, their energy. It's 5 years and they have not yet been paid. I want to hear you call in. So the tint affects a lot of people, a lot of us. This one, you might not have a relative that's a police officer. You might not have a relative who's a prison officer. You might not have a relative that's a nurse. But it's happening. As we say here, the Make More Noise protest march, police, prison officers, nurses, the backbone of our nation, still unpaid, undervalued, and disrespected. Enough delay. Pay them now. Pay them now. Police, prisoners, officers, nurses. Anybody agree with what we're saying? If you agree, give me the thumbs up and call in. I want you to call in. Call in. Where's the number? Let's put the number back on the screen. Folks, the lines are open. What are your thoughts about this? You know, we played at the beginning a video where it says, because it didn't, or I think Dr. Ferdinand mentioned it, because what's happening is not affecting you deliberately, then you're like, well, whatever. Do you think that this is worth us marching for? So Jacqueline, that thumbs up is that they should be paid, right? Do you think that we should be marching about this? Do you think it should concern us? Why are we going out there in the hot sun for the police and for the prison officers and for the nurses? UB says yes. Yes. Yes, they can't protest. They can't, they're not allowed to protest. There is a very important part of our society that's been treated in an extremely disrespected way, who have been scammed. The government has scammed these people. Folks, it's basically, if somebody did that to us, we would say that we were scammed. That's what the government has done. And to see how this government is just spending millions like it's water. They are spending millions like it's water. And you have these people that these very important part of our society, backbone of our society, helping to keep the social order, helping to keep our health system running, and they are being disrespected, they're being undervalued, everything, right? Is this something new, Dave? Okay, I'm not sure if this is something new, right? So, yes, Galvin said yes. Yes, they should be paid, Ryan. Patricia is saying, how can I go and support Carifest and government will not pay my constituency workers? Jacqueline says, how are they supposed to survive when we are all have financial commitments? And we saw what is happening with what's being reported that's happening with the nurses there in at the geriatric hospital, where they are moving them around because it's being alleged that because they spoke up, the ones that are speaking up, they're moving them all the way to St. Lucie. I heard reports were told of a nurse who broke down at work today at the geriatric and could not work because they just cannot take this kind of pressure. Imagine you go to work. You go to work, and the pressure that is coming at you, you're not able to work. Because all you can think of is by September comes, from town, you're going to have to take buses to get to St. Lucie. And what about when you have the night shift? What's going to happen to them? Our nurses are being disrespected. Our nurses are being undervalued. You're going to take up a 60-year-old nurse that have been working over 20-something years. They live in St. Michael, and you're picking them up and telling them to take a bus to go to St. Lucie. You're disrespectful. Eugene is asking, where are the friends and family of the affected? Why are they not marching? They need to show support. Good question. While we wait on any calls, Dr. Ferdinand, any thoughts on what we're sharing here?
Yeah, Marcia, I was just reflecting on the phenomenal quantity of loans that this government has taken in the last 2 years. I went as far back as $100 million loan taken, I believe, in 2023. And we have had a series of loans that this government has taken. I find it hard to understand why people cannot be paid what is due to them. If you can spend all the money that you have spent to try to fix roads for the World Cup cricket, you can find the money to do housing that is still under question at the Hope Project. You can find money to do the tents or whatever you call them at Oystons, and you cannot find the money to pay these people what is due to them. We are collecting, I am told, and it has been, I understand, established, but I stand to be corrected. But we've been told about the phenomenal amount of money collected at the pumps in Barbados, the fuel pumps. Millions of dollars collected, Marcia. That has nothing to do with the loans that we have taken. I am sure, if not, and I stand to be corrected, I'm sure I saw last week another $100 million loan taken by the Barbados government. I am sure, because I turned to my wife and I said to her, you mean another loan? When are we going to stop taking loans? So we have this phenomenal money. Most of, if not all of our foreign reserves is propped up by borrowed money, and we cannot find a few $1 million. We had funding coming from the grant funding of Saudi Arabia, Marcia. I have it here on my phone. Grant funding coming from the Saudi Arabian government. They can get up and deny it if they wish, but their sources I have that they cannot deal with either. And so we have all of this money coming into the country. That's why I said at the beginning of this show, in the next general election, there's going to be millions of dollars floating in this country from outside of this nation to keep the prime minister in. And I will say this, people should be paid what is due to them. They have to pay their mortgages, Marcia. They have to pay for their school fees, school books. This is totally, I don't even know if the word is to use is unfair. It's wrong, it's wicked. And as a result of it, people should make a statement in the next election and remove this government from office. They do not care.
Correct. Everybody in the protective services, listen to me, even if it's a bird, a cat, or whoever that is standing up, anybody, just listen to me. I think that we got to get radical with what we're doing. And the caller who was on earlier said that at some point the DLP fell out of graces with the people of Barbados, and what the people did, they used the X.
That's right.
They used the X. What about that now? What about that now? Nurses, what about the X? What are you going to do? You could come on here and type all you want. But what are you going to do? I know you can't march. Nurse, police, you can't march. Prison officers, you can't march. But you got an X. You have an X, and it's important that you use that X, right? And Teroni is saying all that borrowing money, but no, he's basically saying they're not paying the people, right? Marcia, Ken said the people like bondage. If elections were called tomorrow, they will re-elect the BLP. Is that true? Is that true?
Well, I want to believe, Marcia, that my Barbadian people are not that stupid. I really want to believe this. I want to. I want Barbadians to prove to themselves that they're not stupid, because we are going to be an embarrassment to ourselves, to the rest of the Caribbean, because the rest of the Caribbean knows what's going on here, Marcia. I heard Sir Hilary Beckles make a statement about how the Prime Minister is admired and loved among the people in the Caribbean. That is among the leaders, not among the people. She's not loved in Grenada. She's not loved in St. Vincent. She's not loved in Guyana. She's definitely not loved in Dominica.
As you mentioned Guyana there, you're so correct. There was a Guyanese on here.
Yes.
What happened to them about 4 or 5 years ago. And actually the Guyanese, our Guyanese brothers and sisters, they have their election tomorrow. September 1st is tomorrow, isn't it? And they have their election, and I'm telling you, they can't, I know that they're thinking about is what happened to them, especially those Afro-Guyanese, the Black Guyanese, when in their minds Mia Motley came and sold them out. That's what that's their statement.
They have not forgotten.
That's what they have not forgotten that. And you know, we see what's happening. Okay, we have a caller on the line. Caller,
Sure.
Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Just a minute, Marcia.
Yes, and you will have to speak up a lot louder.
Yes, but I'm lowering the television. That's what happened.
Yes, okay, I know this voice. I was wondering when you were gonna call. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't called for a long time. Neither one is short.
Yes, and I was wondering if you were well. I really was.
Well, I'm trying to hold in there.
Yes.
But what I want to speak about, Marcia, forgive me, you and Dr. Ferdinand. I want to take you all a little way back. Now, there's something that we all forget, you see. And the problem is that, as I say, Barbadians have a very short memory. But what I would say to you during the election time, you can remember there was a saying like this here.
1 second, guys. Can you hear the caller? Are you hearing the caller? If you can't hear the caller, let me know. Dr. Ferdinand says he can hear. But caller, just do your best to speak up a little louder. Okay, keep going, sir.
Yes, what I'm saying, do you remember there was a saying to us, we can deconstruct and reconstruct?
Yes.
You can remember that phrase?
Mm-hmm.
And also, would you remember during the election time, there was a saying we don't need no opposition?
Yes, they said we didn't need an opposition, yes.
And this is what Barbadians take it for granted. Nowadays, what you are seeing is we are deconstructing and reconstructing. You see? Because you can remember, even the ambassador knew the same statement here again, I think it was sometime last week. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Barbadians must remember this. Because if you're going to deconstruct, it means that you're going to knock down and get rid of everything.
Yes.
And when you're going to reconstruct, you're going to start from new again. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at it in the real sense, in the political world, this is what's going on nowadays in Barbados. And then what you see in all is fights and fun. Right? So we're giving Barbadians the courier to drink, fight. The young people want partying, but they don't want to remember where we come from. So we must take a very deep analysis of what's going on in Barbados today. Very, very deep analysis. And you will see where we are going. That's all I have to say for now. Marcia.
Yes.
You and Dr. Ferdinand could just debate this here, other callers, if I'm wrong.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Let's take a serious look at it. Forget all the other things. What you think going on in Barbados, all this tint and so on. Tint is not. And another thing is when you go to the police, this one thing I made to get the statement. When you must help a police. The police doesn't have insurance. Marcia.
Yes.
There's no insurance for police. Sometimes you call the police station, something going on, and the police say to you, we don't have any vehicles. So if you go there and assist the police, Marcia, and you get cut or you get hurt, who is going to protect you? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
You see, the police can tell you, well, they ain't got no insurance for me, so what? The hospital is in the state. The doctors don't have no insurance neither. The young doctors, what you call junior doctors. That's why you see hospitals in the state. So Barbarians need to wake up and smell the coffee. Let's get serious. Let's when the political parties is out there, electioneering time come on, let's sit down and analyze the real things. You don't want to do is walk up and jump and everything you hear because statement make you laugh and make mocks for her, and then tomorrow morning when you go home and sleep, the next day the party vote, you're going to sleep. So we need to get up and wake up, Marcia.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't let us take these things for granted. So I wish you all a very good night, and I'm listening to you and Dr. Ferdinand.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
you. Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. Yes, go ahead, Dr. Ferdinand.
Yeah, he's on point, Marcia. And this is what I was talking about: deconstruct and reconstruct, taking away and dismantling everything that has held this country together over the past 50, 55, 60, 70 years and reconstructing it. And I said it at the beginning of this show that Barbados is a testing ground for a lot of global elitist activity that they want to implement around the world. And because of her involvement globally and among the elitists, if you want to call them that, I'm going to call it out as it is. Among the elitists, she has made Barbados available as a testing ground for much of what they want to do. And to do that, you have to remove everything that happened before it. This happened with our Republic Day and our Independence Day. Marcia, remember, she wanted to eradicate the Independence Day, and because we stood up and said, no can do, she had to back down from that. And you can see that being continued throughout the process of legislative changes. Take the cybercrime bill, the invasion on people's freedom of speech, the invasion on people's privacy, the amendments to the Police Act. All of these things are definitely a deconstruction. And look at what is happening, Marcia, in Bridgetown. Bridgetown is a visible manifestation of what is happening legislatively and globally in Barbados. You go down Bay Street, Marcia. Can you remember what Bay Street looked like? We have nothing down Bay Street that looks like what we used to have. And now we're hearing about all these hotels, all these high rises, all these things coming up. For who? Not for Barbadians. So there is definitely a deconstruction going on in Barbados legislatively. It is even going on spiritually, Marcia. In her speech during that big chat, she spoke about the fact that the churches and the religious entities are no longer unifying people. To me, that was a slap in the face of the church or religious entities, Hindus, Buddhists, Muslims, Rastas, you name it. Because if there's one entity that does bring us together, even if it's just for a single day, Marcia, it's our religious faith and belief. And that was a slap in the face as far as I'm concerned of Barbadians. So you're removing that perspective. You're removing the whole matter of the protection of people's rights. And this is happening worldwide. This is happening worldwide, and it's coming here to Barbados to be tested. So we see that aspect. And then he spoke about the fact we don't need an opposition. Marcia, this is being pushed all around the world. France, Spain, UK is fighting all of that at the moment. Here in Barbados, we must fight. We must have an opposition as a democratic republic.
Yeah, and you know, this is part of. I'm so glad the caller raised all of the other things.
I'm glad.
Wonderful. I mean, the callers are doing a fantastic job tonight, And guys, we are the number is here again on the screen. You should know it by now. Please call, register your concern, give your comment, be part of the discussion. This is about you. We want to hear what's on your mind concerning the police service not being paid their hazard pay, the prison officers not for 5 years, not 5 weeks, 5 years, not 5 days, 5 years they've been promised this. And that's why I said the government scammed these people. 5 years, and they've not, the nurses did not get their hazard pay. Okay? And we have nurses at the geriatric hospital who it is being alleged because they spoke out about the scabies and said, listen, you can't take infected people and and put them on a ward with unaffected people. I mean, that's like basic, right? Like Dr. Ferdinand. And now what are they doing? It seems as though to me, from what I'm understanding, that at the geriatric hospital, that they are seriously victimizing our nurses after not paying them their hazard pay. Can you imagine that? And they're being underpaid, disrespected. You're taking up 60-year-old people and telling them to travel from Bridgetown to St. Lucie, travel to St. Philip, when they have been going 15 minutes, to their work.
And keep in mind, Marcia, that they were caught with their pants down when it came to the Harrison's Point matter, because Barbadians did not know that Harrison's Point was being turned over to a developer for.
There you go. But hold that point there, Dr. Ferdinand. I have two callers. Yeah, I got two callers on the line.
Yes.
Okay, just hold on. Okay, caller, go right ahead. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show. Okay, let's see here.
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, this is Judy Dawson Jones. What I want is the people of Barbados to come out to the march, come out and make their act and vote out the BLP. Because right now they are doing nothing for the poor. They are for the rich and famous. And she like that party and she needs to go. Go as in go. She and two other 28 members.
You can, we can't hear anymore, Marcia, and you're muted.
Yeah, one second, we had a problem. Go right ahead.
Yes, okay.
Repeat what you just said. We had a challenge there. Yes, repeat what you just said. Repeat what you just said.
I said that the BLP need voting out Mayor and Shiko. She ain't doing nothing for the poor. She is for the rich and famous. She need to go. She and let the Democratic come in and see what they can do. Right now, Mr. Thorne is fighting so very hard for the people of Barbados. Not for he, not for me, but for the whole entire 2008 people of Barbados, opening the eyes, the ears to understand what is going on in Barbados. They need to come out and vote and be there and represent Mr. Thorne. He is educating the whole entire Barbadian and the whole nation, even overseas. Open their ears and listen and understand what Mr. Thorne is telling when he is there for you all. Have a pleasant night, Mr. Ferdinand, and also Marcia Reese.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
I will be coming to the march, and I am wearing my black, yellow, and blue, and I'm going to have a little flag that I bring it and pushing it in my head. If you want me to carry the big flag, I will carry it for you also, too. Have a pleasant night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for calling. Wonderful. The callers are on point tonight, and that is really wonderful. Folks, the numbers there. We have another one. I have to call him back. All right, so just hang on there, and let's have our caller, folks. The number is there. Caller, welcome to the Marcia Week Show. Can you please turn down all of your devices that you're listening to us on so we can hear you? Tonight, in this segment, we are talking about the police service, the prison service, the nurses, especially those at the geriatric hospital, that they're moving about like they're checkers and sending them all about the place, trying to victimize the nurses at the geriatric hospital. It seems that the government is doing that at this time. Caller, what's your thought on all of this?
Well, I just want to say that negativeness feed on negativeness, and they're feeding their negativeness, and that will disturb the whole economic system of Barbados. That's what they probably want. But I guess I mainly call to say, after these people got to get out of power, who will pay this expensive bill, right? Because any of us go and bring anything from any supermarket, any store, anything like that, and we don't pay the bill, it will come for us.
Yeah.
Now, this situation with them, it won't work like that. But they're accountable for the money that's being spent. And for too long, people keep doing stupid for our taxpayers' money and getting away with it. When it's the sunset, as I keep saying. Now, we might win certain battles, but the biggest battle is for these people to take responsibility for the wrong they have done. Because we don't have the lawyers and the accountants to see it from that 3D image, but we know for sure as citizens that something wrong is going on. Now, we have too much events going on, and people out there can't even get the little welfare check. They can't get the assistance. Yes, if it's marketing, tell us that, but we are not getting nothing from the marketing. So we need people to take responsibility for people's life and people's livelihood and all of that. People are suffering in Barbados, and we have ministers that's living like they're one of those big rich people from in the Middle East or something like that. That's our money.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you something, caller. Let me ask you something. In light of what you're saying there, we're talking specifically at the moment about our police service. We're talking about our prison officers. We're talking about our nurses. They were promised hazard pay for during the pandemic 5 years ago. So in light of what you're saying, what are your thoughts about that? The fact that they have not been paid. Yes.
Sorry for cutting short, but it sounds a bit contradictory because I don't know if I'm right. Don't quote me that I'm 100%. But I was told that a certain amount of police from a department got a raise. So
yes, so they got a raise. Yes, they got a raise, but that doesn't have to do with the hazard pay.
Is it protection or good work? What is for protection?
No. Hold a second, caller. Let's stick to the point. Okay. So what we're talking about is the hazard pay. So some of them, they got a raise because they just gave them a raise. But what we're understanding that even with the raise, the amount of money that was promised to them 5 years ago, they have not received that. So getting a raise has nothing to do with the back money that was owed to them. You see?
Well, we must find out if we still have money in the bank, because we might be broke. Possibility. We might not have the money. We might be squandering the money. We have to get in there and do some accounting.
And you're saying that probably that's why they're not paying the
possibility because it doesn't make sense. I probably get a headache here right now as I speak to you, but I'm going to give somebody a chance to probably figure out it. So I can't get that. That's a mathematics I can't get.
But what about Carifesta? Look at how much has been sent spend in Carifesta, and these people are not being paid their hazard pay.
When they were spending money at Carifesta, I figured that we had so much money to spend that they would do some good budget. So I'm a bit scared now because I think things might go after Carifesta in the supermarket. Well, I'll give somebody else a chance because I got my head hurting me. But thank you guys for listening to my call.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Yes. Yeah, as someone is saying here, no money with Carifesta going big. But no money and our corrective or protective services are not being paid. Their hazard pay not being paid well. As we're on the protective services, one of the things that we are being told, although I have another caller here, is that they are basically having our workers, government workers, or in our protective services again, that they're working overtime and they're not really being paid. So they are promised, you know, they're going to get time off and etc., but they're not actually being paid for overtime. That is happening right here in Barbados. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Hello, good night. Beautiful. A blessed night to you.
Caller.
Blessed night to you. Marcia Week, South Ferdinand.
Yes. Good night.
Yes. What you call to open up your eyes? They call me coffee. The BLP boring. Not only for going to the good benefits to going to Bajans, they're boring for their self-interest. And gospel truth, when they do all this boring, the Democratic Party gonna pay back, so they want to put the Democratic Party in that trap. So that one of you will say, or when they do get him, or the LP is not doing nothing, etc. But they got the bills to pay back. So when you recheck it and see what they're really doing, they're doing ultimate damage to Barbados right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if we gonna keep going, if we in a serious debt trap right now, and if we don't get them out as soon as possible, we're gonna not be in a debt trap. We're in that dark crisis, that dark crisis.
Mm-hmm. 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 So let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Do you think it's because we're in a debt trap? Why the prison officers and the police officers and the nurses have not been paid their hazard pay?
Of course, they want to make Barbados feel that that they got doing the greatest and they got all the finance and they could do this and do it 34. But they know that Barbados in a horrible state right now. They bury this scratching their head trying to go on like trade people and etc. Makes them know that they feel of running this Barbados country.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So basically, stop on trade for partying. As I said earlier, trying to get some foreign exchange and try to get some revenue in Barbados.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, thank you so much, caller, for calling. Are you going to be there on Saturday for the march on behalf of the police and the nurses?
I didn't want to bring a crew.
You want to bring a what?
I want to bring a whole set of people, which is a crew.
You want to bring a crew with you? That's a good idea, to bring a crew. You heard that, Dr. Ferdinand? Yeah, you're muted.
Yeah, I want to bring a whole set of people.
Yes.
Excellent.
So I can push bring in more and more people and invite in more and more people during this week.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, great job. All right, thank you. And looking forward to seeing you on Saturday as we stand up on behalf of the police officers, the prison officers, the nurses, and all those that in government that have been neglected and disrespected, or public servants not treated well. We're standing up on behalf of them. God bless you and thank you for calling.
A blessing to everyone. Everyone should keep on to Barbados.
Yes, God bless. Yes, God bless.
Okay,
yes, and the calls are coming fast and furious. Go ahead. I saw you had a comment there, Dr. Ferdinand. You can make
I just wanted Marcia to say that this was one of the things that when Arthur warned Barbadians about. You'll recall that when he was asked to come back to lead the opposition party at the time and to lead the opposition, one of the things cited was Motley's reckless spending and taking out the party's money without consent and without accountability. Up to this day, Marcia, since Mr. Thorne has crossed the floor, the Public Accounts Committee has not met. What is there hiding? What are they hiding? Why do they not want to give an account? And I wanted to research today. The Auditor General, didn't he not resign? And I wonder if he resigned.
He retired.
He retired. Okay. I wonder if it was authentic retirement, early retirement, or a formal resignation because he was just fed up and disgusted with what he saw happening and no accountability. I just wonder.
Very good. And I think we have a caller on the line, and we want to encourage people to call in. We're talking about our protective services, the way our nurses are being treated in such a disrespectful manner. And somebody here is saying that for a government that don't have any money, they're paying themselves a huge salary. Dave, can you put back up the salary again that we had up? We got to keep this up because everybody doesn't see it every night. Caller, welcome to the Marcia Week Show. I know this caller. It's good to see you. Well, I can't see you, but it's good that I'm going to hear you. So welcome to the Marcia Week Show. What's on your mind tonight concerning the prisoners, the prison officers, police officers, and nurses? Go right ahead, sir.
Good night, Marcia, and to Dr. Ferdinand. I want to ask Dr. Ferdinand to stop taking the words out of people's mouths and let them call in to say what they have to say.
I'm so sorry. I humbly apologize. I'm sorry.
Before you even started, I was going to commend the Public Accounts Committee on behalf of Liz Thompson that continues to set, or as the Bedouin say, pampalam, that the Public Accounts Committee is in good standing. And I would say that something that is in good standing usually should show or flaunt itself to be of good report. But the fact that you have to beg and beseech for bipartisan forensic auditing of a Public Accounts Committee, so practically say different. That is number one. Number two, I heard people say, oh, he only have mouth because he overseas. Listen to me. I was never one that hid or hide behind a rock. I was always one that used to if I have to speak, even if my neck has to go on a guillotine, it would go. I think what is happening in Barbados is that the current Prime Minister there, she probably felt that she was dealing with grasshoppers, or that the people would just go in a corner. You can have 15,000 plus people jumping for Dr. Ferdy. What percentage were they jumping for again? What percentage they were jumping for, and what percentage it was that the people were jumping and skipping and hollering out for and hopping and hobbling all the remember when 15,000 people were marching?
The NRSL.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is that people, you can round up business people. All sorts of partying and jumping and hopping, even some that could scarcely walk were there hobbling. And Bajans now, as the Bajans say, smelling hell. And you can't get people out to a march to advocate for nurses. I'll be honest with you, people don't understand that as much money you may have, if you don't have some person beside you to give you a glass of water, it may sound harsh. Don't care that the money that you have is nothing. The nurses of Barbados need to be properly treated, as well as the police force, and stop having the police force be a political football. You see, the situation that's happening in Barbados is mirroring itself in Guyana, where the police force is being made like they're at the what I call feudal peasants, and parading them like carrots dangling or something like that. I think people need to understand that. I have started something on my Facebook page called Caribbean Political Watch, and I did it purposely to show not only Bajans but the diaspora the similarities of the trickery that is going on within the political arena, and I think political hopefuls in Barbados as well as Guyana and throughout the region, the only way you can stop the despotism is not to stop the voices of the public from being how should I say it, stifled. I'm going to leave my last point is that I heard or saw or both the Prime Minister trying to hint to, I might not have the specific, I'm talking about the chair of CARICOM, trying to hint to some sort of what I call it what she said it was, like a narrative verification system or something like that. In other words, she is trying to preempt the vetting and the commandeering, stifling of information. Who is the persons or persons that will determine what is the truth?
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yes. So we're listening. We're listening. Yes.
Right. So I'm trying to say, I'll end by saying that what you are doing on this show and what persons in Guyana and other places throughout the Caribbean, I think you went to, was it Dominica you went to last?
Yes,
was it Dominica?
Dominica.
Right. So what these people throughout the Caribbean are trying to do is to show the Caribbean that the only way for freedom is if we join together, discuss discuss our challenges, so that you would be able to separate sheep from how should I say, sheep from wolves, and that the narratives will not be complicated with political trickery.
Yeah. A good point. Sorry you're not in the country, that you would be able, you could come and join us on behalf of the protective services, those who, but I know that your support is there. When you see the flyer,
of course,
please send it out for us. And as we've been saying to people, if they can go ahead and boost it, put a 20 US or 20 Canadian or whatever it is, and just let, so that it can go a bit further, we would appreciate all of that here. Okay, so thank you so much for your call.
Okay, all the best to you too. Okay.
Yes, thanks. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Dr. Ferdinand, look at the screen here. And we're still on the nurses. We're still on the nurses. We're still talking about even our teachers who they did not get their term leave. That is in law for the teachers to get this term leave. It's in law. It's inscribed in law, and the government of this country is refusing to obey the law. But then, it's making all these laws for us to obey, and they won't even obey the laws. Read the teachers getting their term leave. That has been there. I think it's over 13 years. Somebody could correct me. That this law has been there, and they have not given the teachers their term leave. Here it is again. You promise the prison officers, you promise the police service, you promise the nurses, work during COVID, work your overtime, do what you need to do. They step up, like good patriots, Dr. Ferdinand, and they decided to take care of their country. And 5 years, and they have not been paid their hazard pay. But look, this government has, since they've been in office, they've given themselves a raise. The prime minister alone is making almost 300,000. This is outside, including our travel allowance, our salary and travel allowance, outside of her official car and her official residence. Think about this. That's what she gets per year. Mia Motley gets this per year. Think about it. Look at what the others get. And we have a caller. We have a caller on the line. Okay. Caller, good night. What do you have to say about the prison officers, the nurses, and the police officers who have not been paid their hazard pay for 5 years now? Good night, caller.
Good night, Marcia.
Good night.
Good night, Marcia. Good night, Dr. Ferdinand.
Good night. Good night to you.
I am really, this is disgusting. Now, these are the same people that during the COVID were our first responders. These are the same people, the doctors, the nurses, the police. These are people that we held in high esteem. This government held them in high esteem. And now, after all of this, they put in the services, they put in everything, and now they can't get what was theirs. This is ridiculous. It is very, very, very ridiculous. How can you not pay people when they put in the time and they put in the service? But yet now, looking at this chart here, as you were just explaining.
Yeah.
My question to this chart, we have the Deputy Prime Minister working for 192,389 84 cents. A senior minister working for 192,000, the same pay.
Yeah.
My question is, how many senior ministers do we have?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's about 4. Cause somebody can double check, Dr. Ferdinand, or Dave, somebody, how many senior ministers that we have? I know Jerome Walcott is a senior minister, he's one of them. How many senior ministers that we have? This is good that we are breaking this thing down, caller. I love the way you're going. Continue.
Yeah, because I mean, it is ludicrous to see the kind of prices that are being paid out. These prices that are being paid out to these people in high esteem in terms of the government, ministers, and the friends and the families and all kind of nonsense. And people that are actually working. Policemen work hard. Nurses have to work hard. Nurses go through a lot of things that we don't see. Some people are in the hospital, and some people actually hate nurses and do this and all types of things towards nurses. I'm not saying that all of them are good, but I think for the majority of them are good nurses.
Yes.
And I absolutely am offended that this government would refuse to pay them after so long.
Wow. Yeah.
This is high nonsense. And Bajans need to get up and do something about this. This is foolishness. Another thing that I realize, we have people running about behind this BLP party for years. And I can draw a reference. 6 months, down in 6 months, St. Peter. You have them building a hotel down there now. And all of a sudden, the people that are living down there that was trying to get this land sorted for over 40 years. Now these people couldn't get the land sorted through the same BLP party. And all of a sudden, the only hotel could come in now, and you can hear now that some of them people up in back of their house to move. Which means you did not get this land work out for your people, but you can get it work out for a hotelier.
That's right. That's right.
Nonsense.
That's right.
Absolute nonsense. And these people down there sitting down and running behind a person in a BLP camp talking about running behind you just because of what? 1.5 seat. This is all the instance that he's running on a 1.5 ticket. That's all the 1.5 did ever since.
Yes. Yes.
1.5 died and gone. Make the change. It needs to be changed.
Yes.
I give Mr. Phillips my thing. I really hope that he can see a way to get ahead.
Yes.
Because you only way, and I'm tired of hearing people talking about, but if you don't vote in the back end, who gonna do it? Somebody was doing it before them. It was being done before them, so somebody else can do it again. They're not Lord Almighty. Them are the only ones that got an idea, and somehow they don't seem to got an idea anyhow.
Yeah, because I totally agree.
Sitting down and all these things getting passed, and none of these people can't get up and talk against it. But I am still saying, I think there's a division within that camp. There is a big division in that camp, and that's why you see only 10 people who the cabinet and thing will probably be meeting. You understand? Because some of them ain't agreeing, but they can't say anything. So they just don't turn up. I think that is actually what's going on in there. But I even fail to believe that you got 27 people sitting down, and not even 7 of them could reject.
Wow. That's
crazy. Anyhow, I will give some person else a chance because I just wanted to say to you all, I watch the show. Every time that I get the chance to do it, I watch it, and that's pretty regular. So I give you all praises, and I think you are doing a good job.
Thank you so much, sir. And are you coming out? Can you come out on Saturday to support the nurses?
Saturdays, I would love to do it, but Saturdays is normally a very bad time for me.
Yes, yes. Okay, no problem.
It's normally I am self-employed, so that's
it's a good time for you. All right.
Right?
All right. All the best, caller. Thank you for calling. Thank you for calling. Any quick comment there, Dr. Ferdinand? While before you do that, gonna ask people to calculate for me, guys. I want you to work out, add everything going across for these people. All right. Some of you out there, you can do it quickly. Add going across. Go ahead.
I just wanted to make the comment, Marcia, that constitutionally, there's no position of Deputy Prime Minister in Barbados. Constitutionally, it's a position created by the Prime Minister for somebody to assist in terms of overseeing cabinet and other matters. But there's actually in the Constitution, and I think I'm 100% correct on this because we already raised it here on the show, and I think it was answered. It was answered officially. If you look into the Constitution of Barbados, it's actually not a position for the Deputy Prime Minister. So it is created by the Prime Minister. Acting Prime Minister. These are all these are not matters in the Constitution itself. But you know, Marcia is absolutely, and incidentally, keep in mind, Marcia, that the retirement age for these people is, I think, 60 or
It's 50. 50. Yeah.
Okay, and everybody else is 68. All right, keep that in mind.
67
okay?
for everybody else.
67. I
Yeah.
think it's 67, right? For everybody else. So
Right.
so we have a disparity of enormous proportions. I mean, and I'm sure they're being paid every month. I'm positively sure they're being paid every month. They have their vehicle, they have their expenses, they have their travel allowance, they have their food allowance. The taxpayers pay for the overseas travel. All of these things, even private jet travel, because I don't know how much certain members of our government travel on commercial aircraft. I'm not going to go into that, but I think that has already been addressed. So it's just ridiculous to think that these people who have put their lives on the line, and who put their lives on the line every day, the police, the nurses. And again, I keep in mind that facility at St. Lucie, I'm just going to leave it there because you helped me. You helped me when I mentioned that.
No, because we're trying to you know, focus on the callers and to try to stick to the point.
Yeah, that's fine.
As much as possible that we are dealing with. So right now, what we have on the screen here, guys, I need you to get your calculators out, and I want you to calculate while there's a caller on the line. Caller, just hang on. I want you to calculate, like I've calculated for the Prime Minister going across the salary and the entertainment allowance, that it's almost 300,000.
And that's if you add the value of the official car, Marcia, that's going to be over $150,000.
Yeah, but we just going by the numbers, but I understand the point you're making. But then compare it to the average salary in Barbados and ask yourself, are we getting what we're paying them for? We have employed them. Are we getting what we've employed? Look at the Deputy Prime Minister, the Senior Minister. I'm hearing now that there are 4 Senior Minister and a Deputy Prime Minister. All right. Somebody please correct that. I remember 4, but somebody can correct us as we go along. Oh, somebody said, okay, 5 Senior Ministers, including the Deputy Prime Minister. Is it 5? Please, we want to get the correct number. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the Marcia Show again. I see it's a caller that called before. Go ahead, please.
Yes, please. You must forgive me for calling, but I think that this is very, very, very important. We have to protect our protective services, especially when those who are responsible for protecting them are not. Now, being on the march, because I tell you this much, the sun will be real hot. And I am not out there marching for myself. I am marching for those who cannot march for themselves. Even the protective services, I'm marching for them. I'm out there taking the hot sun for them. You know, but I believe that we have to be very careful and cautious about our protective services because they're not being paid the protection that they're supposed to be paid. No, Marcia, look, you see those figures that you have on the screen there?
Yeah.
I refuse to go and calculate them. You know why? If I put myself in the position of one of those protective services, and I can see all this money that is being paid to these people, and I'm not being paid, I'm going to be real vexed, real cruel. You know, no wonder sometimes you can't ask certain government officers a question, because all they're thinking about sometimes is not being paid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as I said, we have to be very careful. Can you imagine a police protecting some person who getting paid? Let's say an artist getting paid, but they're not being paid.
Right.
Can you imagine? You know, it could be very hurtful. Your whole morale could be at stake. You know, as I said, we have to protect our protection services, the nurses, all those kind of people. I'm going to be out there marching. The sun is going to be hot, but I'm going to march. I'm not marching for myself. That's all I have to say right now, to tell the truth.
Yes. You know, thank you so much, caller. Thank you. Thanks for calling. We're looking forward to seeing you on Saturday at the march. You know, thank you, Jonathan. Jonathan is doing the classwork. So the classwork was at a cross. Jonathan, very good job. So Jonathan said the senior ministers are getting over 274,000. Think about that per year. All right, with all their allowances, entertainment allowance, and the travel allowance. Divide that by 12. How much they're getting in because they get the allowance. It doesn't necessarily mean that they use it for, you know, this entertainment allowance, but they can use it for whatever, right? So they get this money. So divide that by 12 for me, and think about a constable who gets, the constable, remember, who is so important, gets $2,724.82 per month. Okay? The sergeant gets over $4,000 a month. All right? Think about that. These people who are getting this, Jonathan B., this 274,000 amount, their pensionable age is 50. While us little minions, our pensionable age is 67.
67, correct.
I want you to think about that, and then you will realize what it is. And thank you for the other, who is the other one here who gave us the name of the senior ministers. People are very clued in tonight. Let me commend the viewers. They're working. They're doing their job. Ministers Bradshaw, who is this Deputy Prime Minister, she is getting this amount that we just did, 279,000. Simmons, Dogood, Walcott, and Marshall, and I'm hearing that there's some of these here that there are people that are getting this kind of money, and they're still holding their personal business, their personal practice. They're doing, you know, think about that. What is this? You know, I mean, you understand how much money, and why it is that they will not go against her, and why it is that somebody said, well, how could they be getting all of this money and sitting down in Parliament and saying nothing, not speaking up on behalf of their constituents because of the money they're getting? But it's a job that we gave them. You gave Santia Bradshaw $279,000 a month by an ex. You gave Simmons $279,000 a year. I'm sorry, by an ex that you gave them. You do good. 279,000 with an ex. That's what you did. Walcott and Marshall. The question is, you employed them. You gave them that employment. The big question is, are you satisfied with the work that they're doing? They gave themselves a raise. They, in the middle of all this pandemic and all of that, remember, they gave themselves a raise, and they increased our pensionable age and kept theirs at 50. Those are the leaders that we have that care about us. And yeah, this is it. And somebody said, you know, Dr. Purdy, that I think it's you or one of the callers that you know, they said, oh yes, these are our frontline workers. And
yes, one of the callers.
Yes, and they pat them on the back and they clap them and they said they put up their pictures on social media and we are to honor the frontline workers. You remember that?
Yes.
All of that we had to do. And so, as one person said, all the frontline workers deserve was a hand clap and a badge, and they gave them, I think, some coins. They gave them, right, some commemorative coins. I was told they gave them little gifts and so on, but they can't pay them the hazard money. But they have not taken a cut, and not one day did they not get their pay. Not one day did they not get what was due to them. A silver dollar they gave them. Sweet Pea said all that they gave the protective services is a silver dollar, not their hazard pay. You believe that, Dr. Ferdinand?
This is absolutely ridiculous, Marcia. And every day you see the hardships that our people are going through. I go through the supermarket. I watch people at the gas stations, and I, even here, not far from me, I watch people going into the little mini marts and so on. And people are struggling, Marcia. They are struggling. And I don't understand how a government cannot see this. When you were in opposition, you opposed the increase of the VAT from 15% to 17.5%. Yet you came to office and did absolutely nothing about reducing it back to 15%. Right now, the government could reduce the value-added tax in Barbados to help to counter the increase in cost that the governor of the central bank told us.
One second, Dave. If you could keep that up because people are calculating. Okay,
yes,
thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Dave.
Yes. Yeah, go right ahead.
The governor of the central bank has warned us that we can prepare for increase in prices. If that is the case, would it not be a reasonable thing for a caring government to reduce the value-added tax since the price rises? Don't tell me they can't do anything. Don't tell me it's just the private sector and the merchants in Barbados. The government can take steps, and I've heard people telling me a lot of things about how the basket of goods that are VAT free has been increased and that type of thing. But you have increased in many instances food that itself is not healthy and that contributes to the non-communicable diseases of Barbadians. You have not reduced the value-added tax on a number of critical health matters in Barbados, and I'm talking about vegetables and so on. Marcia, I'm sure you've been in the supermarket. You ever tried buying broccoli? You ever tried buying things like not just the broccoli? I can't keep remember the other one that looks like a brain. I keep forgetting the fancy names of them all the time.
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower, thank you. All of these things that are healthy for us. And I watch people just bypassing them completely, just trying to make ends meet. And one last thing, Marcia. I shop, I'm not going to call the name of the supermarket, but I shop at a reasonably priced supermarket in Barbados. And I am now seeing, well, not now, I've been seeing for the last several months, last couple of years, people looking at prices more than brand. And I'm not even going to say anything further on that.
Yeah. Guys, I want you, as I told you the last time, take a screenshot of this. And because you see, even for those of you who are vying for a position to get in there, please, you got to understand why you're going in there. Is it because you want to go to serve because of all of this money that they are getting? Really check your motivation.
Yes.
What is it? What is it that you're after? What is it that, and the people, we must remember that we have that ability to remove these people. Do you want to keep these people and then they continue getting this amount of money, giving themselves raises? Guys, they're giving themselves raises. That's what they're doing. They gave themselves a raise while they were in office, right? And this is the kind of money that they're getting. And we're going to keep on this. As somebody says that Ralph Thorne and the DLP should commit to reducing those exorbitant salaries and allowances if elected as a government. These are things that are real. You understand? Because we hired you there, we put you there, and we're not getting if you were doing the work, then it's no problem. But it still needed to be, equitable. Yeah. Somebody said they want a placard just with the salaries. You know, oh my goodness, this is terrible. But Dr. Ferdinand,
I love that idea, Marcia. I love that idea. If we could get a placard, if we could get 5 placards or 6 placards, each one, so that people can see it big and bold, and they don't have to, you know, squint their eyes to see what we're talking about. If you can get 5 or 6 placards with these figures, so that people can see why we are marching, because this is one of the reasons. If you can pay yourself these kind of salaries, pay the police, pay the nurses, pay those persons who were the first responders, give them their back pay. And as a matter of fact, and mind you, Marcia, if you don't pay your income tax, you are either fined or you have to pay interest. So wouldn't it be interesting if the government has to pay them not only their back pay, but with increase in terms of taxation, in terms of interest, sorry, with interest on it. They should be made to pay it with
inflation, because I was saying that to Dave, you know, that now they're going to try to pay them because we're doing all of this pressuring on here. They're going to try to pay them. They're going to march. They're going to pay them. But the thing is that there's no, we're not making an allowance for inflation. You owed them the money 5 years ago. So the value of that money that you owe them now is not going to be the same thing.
Correct.
Right, but you're not going to make any adjustment for inflation. You're going to pay them what you owed them 5 years ago, you know, and that's part of the robbery of it and the injustice of it, you know, and the corruption of it. Guys, oh boy, I didn't even realize the time had gone. It's 10:05, and so we're going to close off tonight. I want people to remember. Dave, if you can play the one of the March songs before we as we get ready to close. I want to remind people about tomorrow's show, Dr. Ferdinand, that we have a special guest, as I was discussing with you today, where the former Minister of Sports, Youth and Culture will be on with us, and he will be doing a critique of CARIFEST. So this is former Minister Stephen Lashley, who is also now the vice president within the Democratic Labour Party. And he will be on tomorrow night as well. Glenn Murray will be on early as well. And I think both you and I, Dr. Ferdinand, will be on tomorrow.
Lovely.
As well.
Lovely. Absolutely lovely. We're looking forward to a great show tomorrow night. And Marcia, we're also looking forward to great support for that march on the 6th of September. That would be next Saturday. That would be the following Saturday coming here now. We're really looking forward to everybody joining us and sharing. I've already shared the entire thing on my Facebook page, and I want to encourage you to share it on your social platforms, wherever you are, so that people will be able to see. We don't have the funding to go with all the big newspaper ads and radio ads, but I think it was Barack Obama that showed how critically important social media is. And he showed that in terms of his presidential win. So it is capable of getting the message across.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you, Dr. Ferdinand, for joining. Let me just apologize for Miss McClean tonight. You know, you normally have her on a Sunday night, but we're going to make it up for in the week. She had important matters with the young people. She was dealing with young people and entrepreneurship. And you know, that's her baby there, and so that's where she was this evening. All right. So, and Glenn Murray will be joining us tomorrow night. All right. Again, thank you all for joining. Dave, do we have anything to play there? No. No. Okay. All right, folks. Have a good
noise and make more noise. Noise is forward, the people voice. Hey, bring your drum, your whistle, your gun shell clear. Back over spoon, let them all hear. This is noise and make more noise. Noise is power, the mark. Bring your drum, your whistle, your gun shell clear. Back over spoon, let them all hear. They call it noise.
All right. All right. All right.
Hey, yes, amen. God bless.